Whew, all right. Hello. Happy Sunday. Hope everybody is having a good one. My name is Ryer. Gonna be playing some Raging Loop today. This will be day 2 of Raging Loop, trying it out, and we'll see how it goes. We already got to meet the cast in the first part of the game. That was last time I played, which was earlier this week. There's quite a few folks, so for those of you joining for the first time today, we'll do a little bit of recap when those people come up, and then as events unfold, we'll talk about them. But we got to the first night in Raging Loop, and in this screen, I'll avoid spoilers. But once I switch over to the game, so I guess this is official spoiler warning for both Twitch and YouTube. If you're coming in, if you're watching this on YouTube, once I'm actually in the game screen, spoilers are in full effect. And for those of you watching right now, same thing. Once I switch over, it's going to be whatever I'm talking about or whatever's happening on screen. That's all full spoilers. So if you don't want to watch spoilers, if you want to play this game yourself, it's a bit old, but I only just found out about it this week. If you want to experience it for yourself, I will catch you next stream, which will probably be tomorrow, Monday. Looking to do some shooting games with my buddy Magic. I think we're gonna play Halo, so that'll be tomorrow. If you would rather skip out on this one, totally fine. And then Tuesday, Wednesday, we'll do our normal fighting game thing, and probably hit up Raging Loop again sometime during that week. All right, I think that's it for the intro. Let me switch over to the game. Let me just change all my settings. Game audio on, game up, and let's go over to it. Let's wait for it to load. There it is. All right, so Raging Loop Part 2. Oops, clicked out of it, sorry. Full recap. We are this guy on the left here. I don't exactly remember his name. Fusaishi, I think is his name. He's a college student who just broke up with his girlfriend and rode a motorcycle out into the wilderness to forget. Ends up running into this girl in the middle, Chieme, who kind of saves his life by leading him to her village, her place of residence, lets him stay the night there. There's a little bit of back and forth, will they, won't they? And then she introduces him to everyone else in the town. The town is really weird. They seem to pray to these rock statues. And as we find out at the end of night 1, there is a werewolf, or I should just say a wolf, that comes to visit the town and is killing people. So we died on the first night to the wolf. It was kind of a forced route, but we died on the first night. And so now the game has a mechanic, that's the loop part of it, where you can go back having gained knowledge from earlier in the game. In this case, knowing that if we leave, the wolf will kill us. That was the piece of knowledge that we gained. So knowing that, we can replay night 1 from that point and make a different decision. So there's going to be a bunch of branching decisions that come off of each of, I guess, the nights or the deaths, or however you want to segment the time here. All right, so I think that's pretty much the recap. Let's go ahead and get started with Raging Loop Part 2. All right, so here, let's load. Okay, and we can just go to the chart and dense mist. See, it shows where you can use these keys. Keys are different memories that you obtain. This one I thought was interesting. You could do something a lot bigger with a bunch of keys, but here's the key that we actually have unlocked. You can see it's unlocked. So we are going to, this, I see. This got us key number 2. So we're gonna go here and follow the scream. Okay. I got a lot of water this time for this too. Suddenly, I heard a scream in the distance. So now we are going to keep still because we know that going out and taking a look results in death. What was that? It sounded like... Oh, I don't have my heart rate monitor. Oh, sorry, chat. Give me 1 second to go grab that. Just 1 second, just 1 second. It's more fun when you know how freaked out I am. Because I scare pretty easily. Should just be able to do it this way. Okay, I grabbed it. Let's turn it on. You'll probably get to hear it beep. There it is. And open up the application. Okay. Just reset my position. Okay. There it goes. Yep, there we are. Okay. Nice, calm 78 BPM. I don't know if that's good or not. All right. Whew. It sounded like someone's life was in danger. It meant something dangerous was nearby. Wait, I couldn't be rash. The world didn't have many things the logic couldn't explain, like the existence of murders. But until I saw the source of the scream myself, I was nothing but a source of fear. Get in there, lock yourself in, stay inside the whole night, and don't make a sound. I reached open the door, but something stayed in my head. It was my promise to Chieme. But that scream just now was very real. It wasn't normal. I had to assume the situation was dangerous, and maybe I could help if I went out. But that meant endangering myself. I was no saint, and I had no plans to rectify that. If there was something that could get me to walk out, it would be curiosity. My curiosity had won over dangers many times thus far. But right now, it was weaker than my fear and risk of death. Why? Because I already knew. Oh. Shit! What the hell were these memories? It wasn't a premonition, a dream, or anything else vague. My brain recognized it as something I'd experienced. But how? After all, I was still alive, and the time from those memories had yet to come. Was I a precog or something? Was I a psychic? By God, I swore I'd never experienced anything like this before coming here. And why did the memory come back to me at this particular moment? Regardless, that overwhelming fear and the pain and death that followed were exactly what waited for me if I opened that door. And I couldn't be more certain of that. The thoughts rendered me unable to move. Immobile. I stood still, completely certain that I'd lost my chance to leave. I wasn't childish enough to sneer at Selph's decisions, but this still didn't feel good. Not to mention, I was upset at not being able to act like me and just run out, simply because I was curious. I didn't even feel saved until that moment. Ooh. Suddenly, the door began to shake. This place had a handle on the outside, and someone was pulling on it hard. There was a lock, sure, but there was only so much it could take before it would break. I prepared to pull on it from inside, but get in there, lock yourself in, stay the whole night, and don't make a sound. What would happen if I did? Whatever was outside would instantly know I was here. Even if I protected the door, the thing had lots of other ways of hurting me. The heartbeat starting. But what if I didn't know about me and was just weirded out by this randomly locked toilet? Oh, hold on one second. I gotta make sure I didn't get an important message. Sorry, immersion and all that. What if it didn't show a hint of fear to what it was doing? Would it just leave? I chose to just wait and see. Once again, someone pulled the door, shaking the structure as a whole. I gulped down a scream and focused on the lock. If it broke, it'd be over for me. Over as in, I'd be dead. What was that? That was what that memory told me. I was powerless back then, and even more so now. Assuming I tried to fight back, what would work? I'd heard that teeth were the hardest part of the human body, so maybe I could bite? Yeah, I'd tear whatever it was apart with my teeth. Okay, dude. I'd bite it to death. I gathered my wits in killing intent, grinding my teeth. I glared out the door. At the door. How long it had been? The sounds suddenly stopped. For all I knew, it might have been a play to make me drop my guard. I'd slowly count to 500. If nothing happened in that time, I'd assume it went away. There were no screams or attacks after that. But the silence around me improved my perception, and I'd heard strange noises every now and again. Breathing, growling, claws on the ground. Basically, I felt a beastly presence. Uh-oh. So that thing actually existed here. Was that what the mists brought here from the Saranaga? The wolf is coming. Did they all know about this? Shit. I couldn't learn anything in a place like this, and not knowing things scares me. Trusting my presence or deja vu or whatever it was, I chose just to stay quiet and wait. I'd find out everything tomorrow. I just had to make it through the night and then talk to Chiemi. And if it was something I couldn't solve, I'd just run away. Thankfully, my bike repairs were going well, but I'd be leaving even if it didn't work. I'd walk to Kamifujiyoshi if I had to. Kamifujiyoshi being the up mountain civilization that's like sister towns with this one. Unlike Yasumizu, they might have had reliable means of transport. For now, I just had to stay awake and make it through the night. May 13th, Tuesday. I never liked seeing night gradually turn brighter as morning arrives. It always made me feel like shit. Like I'd just done something harmful, both for my body and as a human being in general. I know that feel. I found it natural to spend the night asleep and welcome the morning well rested with a smile. I'd never expected to feel so much gratitude for the morning light leaking through the door of an outhouse. It felt like the beasts had been out and about the whole night. Naturally, the high humidity here had made my clothes all wet and sticky. It was unpleasant, but even trying to move them and make it more comfortable for myself felt like a matter of life and death. Maybe it was a good thing I couldn't relax, but hell, it was exhausting in more ways than one. When I heard Chiemi shout, "Haruaki-san," in the distance, I was overcome with relief and I almost fell to my knees. If this turned out to be a trick, and I opened the door to some wolf with a chewed collar in its mouth, lunging for my throat, well, I'd just have to give up and let it have me at this point. With that in mind, I opened the door. I expected to see the same picturesque village I'd seen yesterday, so what I actually saw shocked me pretty hard. What the hell was up with this thick mist? I couldn't see shit. It was like the entire area was consumed by it. Did someone line every inch of this place with dry ice or something? Haruaki-san! I could hear Chieme, but I couldn't see her. Chieme-chan, I'm right here. Haruaki-san! Ah, what a relief. Ah. I heard a wet sound and finally saw a silhouette within the mist. Are you okay? I'm stuck in the field. I walked up and saw exactly what I expected. A girl struggling to free one of her legs stuck deep in the paddy field. I see. Well, good luck. Hey, help me out. Oh, you can't do it yourself? Alright, take my hand, and out you go. Wow! I tugged her hand and braced my legs. That was enough to help her, but she lost her balance and... Whoa, whoa, careful. Headlock. This is a wrestling move. You're actually pulling it off. And Chieme's a lot of fun. Despite how close we were now, this was not the least bit romantic. Anyway, I'm glad you're okay. I definitely remembered a time where I was far from all right, though. Yeah, I guess I am. I had no idea what that was about, so I didn't see any reason to mention it. I did feel like there was some beast outside. Chieme's expression immediately darkened. She clearly knew to what beast I was referring. I have lots of questions, but right now, I'm more interested in the scream that I heard than anything else. That was... Huh? You know what I mean? She fell silent, clearly uncomfortable. It was pretty ominous. This way. No point in delaying the inevitable. Chieme gave me her hand. I took it, but I didn't feel the least bit excited about this. She led me down a path to the school dorm. Ah, Fusaishi-san, you're okay. Congrats on surviving, Toilet Man. Thanks, Warm Futon Man. You're okay too, huh? Wait, where's Haru-chan? Oh, Haru-chan got it. Was she? She's fine. She suffered quite a shock, so she's taking a while to get dressed. Ooh, I see. So the rest of you have already gotten a move on. How did you even handle being in there anyway? Were you asleep? As if I could. I had no idea when I could get out, so I just waited until I heard Chieme-chan's voice. Huh? You were awake? Yasunaga-kun made it sound like that was weird. You try sleeping in there, guy. You can't even sit, much less lie down. No, that's not what I see. I really hate it when people just trail off like that. It makes me way too curious. Why are you here anyways? We're waiting for Haru-chan and keeping a lookout. Lookout? We're not letting anyone near the scene until the situation is clear. Scene? So, someone actually... You wanna see? It's a good way to test your stomach. Mochi, don't mess around like that. Yeah, I do. The invisible and unknown were way scarier than anything else. Not to mention, I could already smell something foul. I lightly moved them aside and walked up to the so-called scene. Ugh. There was a corpse. It was in such a horrible state, it was hard to recognize it as human. I imagine this was what you would have gotten if you overturned a butcher's cart. This was how thoroughly the victim was disassembled. Also, the butcher would have had to deal in entrails, but that's enough of that comparison. Straining my eyes to look through the thick mist, I could actually make out some human parts within the vast sea of blood, or, or mountain of death in this case. Hands, torn clothing, hair, and a shoulder bag. How professional. She kept hold of her interviewing tools even while running for her life. Didn't do her odds of survival any favors, though. So this is the reporter who died. Yep. Despite the body... Good, because I didn't like doing her voice. Despite the body's state, it wasn't hard to tell that the victim was Hisako Mamiya, the small-time food journalist. Is that kind of ironic? You're a food journalist and you die by being eaten by a werewolf? I think that's not irony. That's like how people tend to use the term, but that's not really irony. That thing, it's like poetic is what it is. Did it come to me once it was done murdering her? This is awful. Oh, wait. I know why they thought it was weird that we weren't asleep. Because we didn't eat any of the food that the mother was offering us. Or she's not a mother, I guess, but that the like younger woman was offering us. We ate no food. I bet they put like shit to put people to sleep so that the werewolf can either get them or they sleep through it. Are you alright? Feel nauseous or anything? Chemi was standing a short distance away, looking at nothing in particular. Well, I got nothing to puke up, and, well, I'm used to this. Ah, is this what you study in college? I guess you could say that. Did this guy kill his girlfriend? Huh, seriously? So you do autopsies and stuff like that? When asked if I study medicine, I guess you can say that is what students from similar departments say to make themselves look good, but I did see a few pathology analyses. Oh, does he study, like, crime? I crouched down and put my hands together. Then, grimacing at the harrowing reek of blood, innards, and especially digested food, I brought my face closer. Perhaps I could learn something from this. I could, even if it wasn't much. This corpse wasn't split into pieces. The limbs were still connected, but they were folded in an unnatural way and looked really flattened. They were either crushed or bent with no regard to bones or muscle positions. Then her whole body had been torn apart. The innards were particularly badly damaged. The words "wolfed down" felt like the best way to put it. Oh boy. I found it hard to describe. This wasn't my job, so there wasn't much I could tell about it without touching it. This is way beyond anything I've ever seen before. I can barely tell what happened here. I had an urge to add that this seemed inhuman, but I kept myself from saying that. Anyway, we should call the police. Leave it to the pros. Yeah, nobody's trying to call the cops in this town. I said something any good citizen would, but for some reason they didn't seem to agree. Haruaki-san, the police won't come. Why wouldn't they? I mean, someone died. They won't. Let's leave it at that. Then let's evacuate. That's not happening either. Why? We have my bike, we have their van. Anyway, with Fusaishi-san, we now have all the survivors, so let's go to the dining hall. We'll wait for Haru-chan. Yeah, you do that. Let's go, Haruaki-san. Any chance I can get an explanation? Sorry, but I'm not in the mood for explanation. Wait, no, you said. Sorry, but I'm not in the mood for any explanations. Figure it out for yourself. Oh man, okay, hold on. I'm feeling some kind of double Chieme angle here. I'm feeling like there might be two Chiemes. That was the first time Chieme had acted so harsh with me. I was pretty irritated myself, but it must have been worse for them. They actually had info on what was happening here. Sorry, that was insensitive of me. Chemi said nothing more and silently walked off. I followed after her. When we reached the plaza, I instantly understood what she'd said about evacuating. The bike and the van were both completely destroyed. Oh god. The latter was in particularly bad state. The front window was all broken, all 4 tires were flattened, etc, etc, etc. My bike was on the side, its front fork was broken. Well, it was basically scrap metal now. Fuck. There was a rock right next to it. Guess we had our weapon. And there were more remains inside the van. Oh, the other reporter's dead too. It looked like an enormous mountain of flesh and bone. If I didn't know about Yudai Hashimoto-shi, I'd have assumed there were 2 or 3 corpses there. Damn, this guy doesn't catch a break even in death. Hashimoto-san. Chime slowly nodded. I now know we'd lost not only 2 lives, but any means of transportation as well. Look over there. She pointed at a wooden electrical pole. The line was dangling, torn apart with no hope of repair. The other power lines are fine, but the dining halls was destroyed along with the telephone line. We cannot contact the outside. Oh boy. I took out my own phone. It worked, but the battery was almost dead, and like before, it was out of range. The situation had become even harsher than before. Look here, too. Chemi walked a few steps away. I followed after. There was a large boulder. It was tall enough to reach an average roof, and there were drawings on it. Ooh. A crimson symbol of some sort. Can't really tell what that is. What did it represent? At first, it looked like an incoherent mess of lines. However, I soon realized there was a pattern. It felt like the calling card of some street gang. From what I could tell, the basis was a warped diamond shape with a spiral inside. Oh yeah, I see that. Oh, excuse me. Bit of a yawn. Sorry about that. There were 2 of them. They seemed to be drawn in blood, but it wasn't nearly as disturbing as the bizarre shape. So maybe 2 kills, 2 symbols? Oh. 2 wolves have snuck into the village. We have to fight. Chemi made a quiet declaration. Apparently this settlement had been invaded by something malicious, and it was intelligent enough to rid it of all means of escape or contacting help. I could understand that much. But it didn't make sense to me. This wasn't some isolated island. There was a cliff, sure, but you could still go down to the Saranaga or to Kamifujiyoshi. I'd asked about that next time I had the chance. Sorry. Sorry I got mad. It must be hard for you too. Don't worry about that. I'm simply an outsider. Don't say that. Poor choice of words on my part. I mean, I'm an outsider who doesn't know the rules, so I'll just silently watch for the time being. I'm tired, but I'm less shaken than most people, so it's best for me to stay cool. I imagine even the elders are more bothered by this. Araki-san, are you really just some university graduate? What else could I be? I don't know. You seem way too calm about this. Like you're used to situations like this. I think he might have murdered his girlfriend. My nerves are pretty messed up, I guess. Oh god, this music. The small dining hall was jam-packed with people. You survived? Yes, good morning. Though, I guess it's not very good, considering what's going on. I'm sorry, I didn't prepare enough tea. Oh, it's fine. You did it, didn't ya? The younger Oribe boy menaced me. No, I didn't do it. Why would you think that? Shut it. Where the hell do you get off strutting in like that? Stop it, Yoshibo. You're the one who needs to shut it. Yeah, tell him. The hell? You're the one who said this bastard's shady. Man, hadn't expected to be treated this badly. I'm saying this ain't a matter for a brat like you. And you're bothering Kaori-san, right? Takumi-san, please calm down. Let's keep it peaceful. It's fine, we'll talk it out. Thus I offer homage to Shinai the Almighty, so peace may come to pass. Thus I offer homage to Shinai the Almighty, so peace may come to pass. Stop, Taiba. That's a bad omen. Where's the key to the meeting hall? I gave it to Uematsu-sama too. Wait, oh, okay. I gave it to Uematsu-sama too maybe 3 days ago. She said she'd fix the podium. Well, Missy? Oh, she's here. Okay. I'll go and get it. That was that woman. So she wasn't just an illusion. Uematsu-sama was her name, huh? I thought our eyes met for a second, but she just walked by me. Oh no. Mappa! Wait! Meiko-chan, wait here for a moment. And the girl was here too. Oh, this guy. I'm voting him off if I have a vote. Deeper in was Kyonosuke Nosatoshi, clearly irritated by something. And, oh, this dude gets a vote too? And not too far away, there was the old man who cried wolf. Just like yesterday, it's hard to tell what he was looking at, let alone what he was thinking. They were the only ones sitting, by the way. The others were all just idly standing around. Mom, everyone, we're back. Come in, Haru-chan. Okay. The 3 students were here. With them, the settlement's entire population had gathered. As for the outsiders, well, the journalists were dead, while I and the mysterious girl had survived. And there's 2 wolves. It's kind of convenient. I don't know the circumstances, but they probably had their reasons to be suspicious of me. Suddenly, Chieme did something unexpected. Rikaku-san, can you wait a moment? She stopped the girl who was about to go get some key. Each villager seemed to call her differently, so I didn't know what to call her myself. This is Haruaki Fusaishi-san. He crashed his bike and I met him at the Saranaga. Oh, hello. An introduction, but why now? Mrs. Rikaku Uematsu-san. Uematsu is made of the kanji for spin and end. Pretty rare, huh? Well, she's the current head of the Uematsu household, one of the chief families of Kami Fujiyoshi. Well, that explains the garb. Spin and end, huh? Like a loop? I'm Rikako Uematsu. Pleased to make your acquaintance. Oh, so she was like a local celebrity, huh? Like Kyonosuke Shi's Nosato family. And that's Meiko-chan. We only call her that because we don't know her real name. Hello there. Nice to meet you. The girl they called Meiko trembled a bit and... Oh. Whoa. Sprinted through the crowd to hide behind Uematsu. So, what do you want to say, Chiemi? Oh god, the feast. I suggest not inviting Haruaki Fusaishi-san to the feast. I felt a wave of perplexion going through the room. Gee, that ain't how it works. The feast is there to help us decide if he's shady or not, right? Their expressions were stern and their words harsh. No, I'm saying he doesn't even have the right to participate in the feast. The hell are you talking about? He's the shadiest of us all. Yoshi-kun, did you prepare for the feast? Huh? Yeah, I did. Who didn't? How was I supposed to react? No one else was raising their hands, but I had no idea what they were even talking about. Me, probably. I don't even know what the feast entails. The other two who didn't prepare for the feast were taken by the corruption. However, Haruaki-san wasn't. I think the Okami-sama ignored him. Okami-sama as in Wolf-sama? Why the reverence? And what was she even talking about? He's from Saranaga, sure, but he clearly just passed by. In fact, I think he'd get in the way of the feast. Now, for all we know, forcing him into the feast would just make the Okami-sama mad. What do you think, Bachan? Did you really survive without preparation? What was I supposed to do for preparation? Purify, shelter, dream. Basically, cleanse your body. Lock up in a single building all by yourself and wait for dawn while asleep. I didn't then. I was in the outhouse by myself, but that's it. I didn't bathe and I didn't spend the night awake. Or I did spend the night awake. The place got all noisy. They probably didn't expect that answer. I don't know. Well, this never happened before. Tai-san sounded genuinely puzzled. What do you think, Rikako-san? I had no idea what kind of dynamics were at work here, but Chemi asked for Rikaku and Matsu's opinion. I consent to the idea. If our great lord Shinai chose to spare him, he must be exempt from the rules of the mountain. Her words created even more commotion. So there. Chemi, you know what you're doing, right? If we remove him... Yeah. We won't have to waste our hanging for the day. Okay. Jesus, this is getting suspicious, I guess. We won't have to waste our hanging for the day. Old man, what do you think? Oh, I guess because if he attended the feast, he'd obviously be the one who gets hanged. What's up, Koyo? Old man, what do you think? It was roundabout, but in the end, once again, the one to make the final call was Kanzo Makishima-san. He won't be in the feast. Old man? But, glaring directly at me, the old man walked through the gathering and approached me. Seeing him from up close, I realized how big and burly he was. It was pretty typical of someone living in a place like this, but it really felt out of place for someone his age. His expression displayed both an inner strength to match his physique and a profound rage. If the laws of the mountain don't work on you, it'll be our rules that you follow. And if you don't, I'll shoot you dead. He's got a gun. He spoke slowly, yet decisively. Man, this was uncomfortable. Hold on. If he can be excluded, I would like the same to happen to Rikako-san and I. Huh? Why? We're from Kamifujiyoshi. We have no reason to play along with Saranaga's business. He's got the guns on his arms, true. Nosato-sama, that won't do. If you're here on the day of the feast, it doesn't matter if you're Nosato, Imatsu, Miguruma, or Higuchi. Uncle, that means Yasun and I could leave too. Oh god. You were both disinherited. That's different. Why must people that are still part of the four families take part in this idiocy? Listen here, Kyo. Don't call me that, Muro. Let's go, Rikaku-san. We have no reason to play with these peasants. No, Nosato-sama. Those in Fujiyoshi have a duty to remain present. All remains in the hands of Shinai-sama, and we now gather upon the platter named Yasumizu. If you got a problem, then get out. Let the corruption take you. Kyonosuke, she eventually fell silent, and Rikako left to go get the key, probably. She returned in no time, and everyone began leaving. You're not coming with us. Alright, well, where do I go then? Takumi, is the cage open? Well, yeah. Alright, I'll take him. So I get to go in the cage? Nice. Come with me. Everyone went to a small hall near the village plaza where Takumi led me elsewhere. We made our way through the tall grass and between the buildings. At the dead end, next to the wild trees and rocky cliff, there was a large cage. It even had a roof and would have passed for a hut with a bit of work. This is where we keep the live game that we capture. Sorry, but you'll have to wait here. I can't say no, can I? Don't take it the wrong way, okay? You'll be out once we're done with the feast. It won't take long. And I can't get any more details, huh? Yeah, I do feel bad about this, but you should be thankful you don't need to take part in the feast. How was I supposed to feel that way, even if I didn't know what the feast was? I'd have asked, but he looked pretty irritated. Probably because he wanted to get it over with, so I just kept my mouth shut. The floor in the cage was mostly gravel, with spaces of wheat and other things littered about. There's a vague, but very clear sense of beasts. Can I lie down here? I figure I should sleep wherever I can, whenever I can. Man, you're brash. No, not brash, just a coward. I don't want to die. The reporters are dead. That was why I'd abandoned those people. After Takumi-san locked me in and left, I laid down and closed my eyes. Bedge. The ground was hard and it reeked pretty bad, but it was still an improvement over the outhouse. I should have taken the time to think about what the villagers had said, about my strange memories and how I could get the hell out of here. That was what I wanted to do, but I knew that I'd just be swept away by an unproductive spiral of regret if I went down that rabbit hole. Had I always been this admirable of a person? Another thing, for some reason, I'd felt like I'd spent the entirety of this time just watching the battle. So I decided that I'd focus on resting, in preparation for what was to come. Oh shit, okay, here we go. Everyone is sitting then? Let's begin the feast of the Yomi Purge. Uematsu-sama, if you may. This is a sacred sake presented to us by Shinai-sama. Please drink it, starting from the youngest. Sake? You just put your mouth on it. No drinking for you, kids. It's not like it would kill me. Stop it, Yoshigutsu. I can never do his name, I'm sorry. Stop it, Yoshitsugu. You, say something too, Yasunaga. Yoshitsugu. This is just for tradition's sake. Shut it. I know that's how it is, Aniki. I don't want to drink this. Why is he wearing a bow? I don't mind it, but... Haru-chan, just kiss it. There, done. And I'm done too. Same here. Chiene? Alright, adult time. Here I go. Oh, this is enough for me. Oh, it's better than I expected, Muro. We're drinking sake during the day. This feast is something. Here, old man. Don't spill it, Taiba. I'll have it. Can you hold it, mister? Oh, he's the oldest. Sakiga. That's done. Taiba, explain. You all know the tales, don't you? When the evening mist comes, the Okami-sama, the wolves, come back to life and try to slay the humans. There were two symbols of the Yomotsu Okami. That means that two wolves have risen. That's why we must do as Shinai-sama says and throw feasts, so that we find and hang them, using the powers of the guardians some of us were given. If we don't, we will be taken by the corruption. That means dying a horrible death. To avoid the corruption, we must have feasts to slay the wolves. That is our role as inhabitants of Yasumizu. One-chan, what does slay mean? It means to kill. Oh, scary. It's fine. I will protect you. Sorry for the interruption, Yamawaki-san. It's okay. Children tend to do that. She's not the only one among us who could be a wolf. Among us? Oh, good grief. What nonsense. If that's what you think, then just fuck off and let all the corruption have you. Yoshitsugu. Uribe-san, I'm concerned about your son's upbringing. I'm like this because I want to be. Don't drag the hag into this. Shut up, Yoshitsugu. I will punch you. Huh? Takumi-ni? The hell are you acting tough for? If I say I'll punch you, I will. You too, Kyo. Just shut up and listen. You don't have the guts. Hear that? Adults don't let stuff like this get to them. Anyway, Bachan, this doesn't seem right to me. I've been hearing about this ever since I was young, but it's never made sense to me. We've been here for as long as we can remember, with the exception of Mako. We all know each other. They've been replaced by wolves? Ooh, so they get possessed. Like hell. They're the same as always. Takumi, you're being naive. What? You're saying there's someone shady among us? Everyone's shady. Ochi-chan. You be careful too, Haru. Even beasts can trick people. And people trick better than any beast. There are things here acting like they're one of us. This is Imposter Simulator. Why are you so confident? There's truth in what our ancestors said. Well, if you say so. That's just what Yasumizu's numbskulls say, isn't it? Chikamochi. Again, you irreverent little... Mochi, stop that. I'm sorry. So, what do we do now? What do you mean? We talk and decide, right? Will that be enough? I mean, we're deciding who to kill here, aren't we? Everyone will say what they think, then we'll narrow down to the most reasonable option. Chiene, what do you think? I think it's all a mess. We already have people who think no one's shady and those who think everyone is. Yammering on and on about something can't be reasonably decided as a waste of time. Besides, in the end, this is just going to be decided by whoever's most influential. Oh, she knows how it goes. Politics. Whoever yells the loudest wins, Amogus. What are you getting at? Don't worry too much, Chimmy. Most of us here are Yasumizu brothers and sisters. It'll work out in the end. I appreciate that you're being so considerate, but we're talking about killing someone here. Plus, it gets worse if we don't want to pick someone close to you. You'll choose someone else. Someone you don't like, or a stranger. Personally, I think you shouldn't let that kind of thing affect your decision. It'd be a grave mistake. Hey, I'm trying to say that killing all that shit is insane, and we should stop it. Yeah, Chimei is easily my favorite character so far. That won't do, Takumi. Ba-chan's saying the same thing. So that's why we gotta talk it out, you know. He's kind of acting a little sus. I think it might be Muro. I know what you're trying to say, but... can I? Everyone, Haru-chan speaking. What's the likelihood of the guy Chiene brought in being the one who killed the journalists? See? What did I just say? I don't think he did. That's just my gut, though. What about you guys? Takumi, you said he's shady. Yeah, I did. But like Chimei said, we shouldn't make decisions based on that. Also, the guy's weird, but I don't think he'd do something like that. I'm with you on that. This is our problem, so we have to solve it ourselves. Isn't that basically choosing someone based on who you like? So, how do you think we should choose, Kyonosuke-san? I believe majority rule is the most reasonable method here. Yasunaga Uribe-kun. I'll hit him with the full name. Hail democracy and all that? That's not very like you. Typical college student. Excuse me, taking a sip of water. I'm merely saying there's no better way to get to the common opinion of this many people. Also, taking it out and making the decision then is basically taking the conclusion most people agree with. No, that's the same as majority rule. Otherwise, like you mentioned, everything would be decided by whoever had the most influence. They're kind of the same picture. Who would that be here in Yasumizu? Kanzo Makishimashi? Tai Yamawaki-san? And who would be killed? Me, of course. Yeah, this guy's spitting. Me, of course. The non-local. Isn't that foolish, considering the people deciding might themselves be the wolves? Nosato-san. Just so you're aware, I have no intention of dying. At the very least, I want a method where I have a say in what happens. I'm against that. Majority rule, yeah, you'll get a conclusion, but there's no guarantee it'll be right. I still think talking it out and deciding then is the best. Speaking of which, what would we even talk about? Taiba-chan, you said something about the Guardians of the Mountain leading us to their aid, right? Or lending us their aid. Yes, the snake, the monkeys, the crow, and the spider will lend us their aid. So I think this is actually kind of cool. This is like, it is like a game of werewolf, like literally. And I know that's the influence of this. And I guess these are like the like, you know how you can play with like powers. I always played Mafia, so it would be like the detective or like the informant or stuff like that. Do you know the details? The snake. Old fart, you know about it? The snake can ask the mountain who's a wolf. Oh, it is literally that. Yeah, so like, or like if you ever played Avalon, which is like a King Arthur version of Mafia, you've got like Merlin and you've got like, like Percival and Mordred and stuff like that. Oh man. The snake can ask the mountain who's a wolf. There are two monkeys, and both know who the other monkey is. So yeah, this is literally werewolf. that's super cool. The crow can ask the mountain if the hanged one was a wolf, and the spider can ask the mountain to protect someone from the wolves, but only for one night. The wolf has come. I wasn't aware you knew this. I thought you were just senile, but it looks like you're pious too. He does his studying. Anyways, that means some of us here should have those powers. What do you mean? Wait, do God and these guardians even exist? Isn't it just some serial killer using old folktales as cover? Haru-chan, God really does exist. No, you just believe he does. No, all of us must have seen Shinai-sama at least once in our lives. That's... Calm down, Haru-chan. Are you alright? Yeah, sorry. Whether it's true or not, we should start by putting together what we know. It's too early to decide anything. Okay, so forewarning chat, I am so bad. I am so bad at Mafia. It's not even funny. So this is probably gonna get ugly. Let's make the Guardian thing a bit easier to understand. Why can't you youngins just remember the old tales better? The snake sees. The monkeys hold hands. The crow tastes. The spider protects. The snake can discover the wolves among the people. It's also the guardian beast of the Migurama family. The monkeys know for certain that the other monkeys aren't wolves. It's the guardian beast of the Higuchi family. The crow can tell if the one who died was a wolf or not. It's my family's guardian beast. That's pretty sad. Silence. And the spider can keep the wolves from entering someone's home. That is Uematsu's guardian. Indeed. Each family's crest represents their guardian, too. But how do those chosen by the guardians use their powers? The snake writes the name of the one still living person on something and that's the old lady, sorry. The snake writes the name of one still living person on something and puts it under their pillow before bed. The next morning, Shinai-sama tells them whether it's a human or a wolf. There are two monkeys, and Shinai-sama tells them who the other monkeys are. And Shinai-sama tells them who the other monkey is the moment they're granted protection. So, when they're granted protection from the spider. The crow is told whether the person who's hanged the day before is a human or not. And the spider writes the name of one still living person and places it under their pillow. That person will be protected from the wolves, but only for one night. With these methods, we must use the powers of the guardian to pick someone to hang each day. If we get all the wolves, we win. If the wolves get everyone else, we lose. That's one way to look at it, I guess. Do you understand? Yes, but where did you even learn this? I heard about it from my Oba-chan. But wait, that means that those who have village head family blood have their guardians, right? I'm not sure about that. I mean, we don't have anyone with the Miguruma blood, disowned or not. I heard that. The guardians are very fickle about who they will lend their aid to. Well then, who are they? If they reveal it, they might end up making themselves the target for the wolf. We won't get anything done if we can't talk about it, though. You think so? Well, okay, what if... Oh my god, screw this. We're wasting time here. Listen up. My guardian's the snake. Oh no, he is a wolf. He is a wolf, dude. He is lying through his teeth. Nani? What? Takumi-ni, is that true? How do you even know that? I forgot to explain that. The guardians come when we're dreaming and leave a mark for their chosen ones. So he knows who the wolf is. Unless he's lying about being the snake. I mean, if someone claims that they're the snake, they're either the snake or the wolf, right? Like, no random is going to claim that they're the snake, because they'll just die. So either the snake is saying it, hoping people trust them, or the snake is one of the wolves. But then wouldn't the other snake shout it out? Oh yeah, he'd have to learn tonight. Oh, he's dying. No, so the spider needs to protect. Okay, this is getting interesting. If you wish to borrow their power, write it up and put it on their pillow. The mark will give you the answer. If you wish to borrow their power. Yeah, I had a mark on me. I don't remember the dream though. If you're the snake, you would say you're the crow. Okay, so I guess this is about to explain. Yeah, as I said, he has to write it up, and he only chose one person. Oh, he doesn't know who the wolf is. He knows if the person he's asking about is a wolf. Okay. That way, when someone dies, you get to say they were the wolf. Oh man. See, I'm so trash at these games. Huh? So, we won't know anything until tomorrow morning. That's correct. Can I ask something, Moro? Sure, what is it? Why did you reveal such important information for no reason? What do you mean why? We have no other information to go off of. Based on what's been said, the snake's power is very important. It makes you a very powerful asset in the fight against the wolves. So, revealing it like you did puts you in grave danger. I ain't scared at all. How can you say that? Did you not see what those monsters did to those people? So you do believe in monsters. It was a figure of speech. Anyways, this turn of events has cost us a valuable weapon. Don't just decide that. You don't know shit. Oh, here we go. Yes, I do. Listen to me, everyone. Anything you say here is free information for the wolves. We should talk things out without overplaying our hands, yeah? I wonder if the wolves know they're wolves. That's true. And that gives me an idea. Hey, I'm the one speaking now. Quiet, fool. Yasu, speak. To make the best use of Takumi-ni's reveal, the spider should protect him. Yeah, okay. This is me. I'm classes. Because that's exactly how I think. The spider Amogus, without revealing his or her identity, should write his name down, I suppose, and protect him. That would keep him safe. And yeah, in traditional Mafia, if the wolf does go for, or if the assassin goes for the guy who's protected, it's a wasted effort. Like, there's no kill made. So you can often double play it, and you can say, like, Spider's going to protect Big Boy here, but actually then go protect someone else, so you almost get to double dip, and then it's up to the wolf to decide if you were bluffing or not. That sounds good to me. Yasu, old man. You'll be safe today. Ask the snake to tell you about someone. Well, whenever he finds out, we'll definitely be correct, right? Yeah, but will he lie about it? Takumi-ni-chan, can you promise you won't lie, no matter who you investigate and what result you get? Oh, of course I won't lie. Is that good enough for today? I don't think we can hang anyone without any kind of proof. You sure that's okay? Oh, why wouldn't it be? Just sitting around and waiting doesn't suit me, okay? I know that. Oh, by the way, I think Takumini should tell us who he'll investigate. This glasses guy's getting a little sus. So if you investigate someone and don't like the results, you can't lie that you actually investigated someone else. What? But I wouldn't lie. That's reasonable. I'd say it's necessary for Muro, considering how sympathetic he is to Yasumizu's inhabitants. He's not that special in that regard. Everyone wants to protect their own, but the situation doesn't allow that. There's another positive to that. We can all discuss and decide who we should investigate first, right? True, I'd like to talk about that too. Who do you think I should go for, Yasunaga? Well, I'm not sure, but I think we should start with the one who's most likely to be unjustly chosen to be hanged. Oh, that's me! I'm the victim. I hate this guy. You're speaking quite a lot, if you ask me. It should be the little girl they should investigate. Oh, then I'll investigate Kyo. Is that okay? Works for me. Then we're not hanging anyone today. Skip vote, skip vote, skip vote. Is that really fine? Yeah, it's gonna be fine. That's it for today. Yeah, I would investigate the little girl. Because that's gonna be the one there. I mean, I guess it's also like, can we really just go hang a little girl? The little girl might end up being the wolf for that exact reason, where like she just slips by because nobody wants to, like in Amogus, you just vote them off the ship, right? It's just clicking a button. Here, hypothetically, these people are actually hanging whoever they decide to kill. I was woken up by several voices. Wow, he's actually sleeping. Or he was anyways. We're done for today. Sorry for the wait. Hey, good to hear. Unfortunately, waking up proved that this whole mess wasn't just a nightmare. So, is this feast some sort of ritual? The kind you want to ward off evil or whatever? No, it's more of a gathering. Ah, I see. So, you try to find the culprit. Haruaki-san, you don't beat around the bush, do you? Yeah, I realized I'm a real victim here, so I need information. It's a tall order to stay alive without any. Takumini-chan, can you tell him about this? Yeah, better you than me. I gotta go clean up and stuff. And Takumi-san walked away. Clean up the bodies, I assume? Yeah, Taiba-chan probably won't let us off until we've sent the Yonbito to Saranaga. You're supposed to preserve the scene of a crime, right? This is doing the exact opposite. Then again, it didn't seem like anyone expected the cops to show up in the first place. So here's my first question. Yeah, let's take this somewhere a little more private. Oh god. This tree. It was a grass filled with stones littered all over it, and it bordered the Saranaga. You could say that this is the heart of our religion, the graveyard of the hanging pine. Well, that's a hell of a name. The place was filled with dense mist, but it was probably thinner than that in the rest of the settlement. Sunlight seemed to be brighter here. I could even see a bit further. The hanging pine had to be that old-looking tree down at the edge. Is this really a graveyard? Yes. I don't know about the ones in the actual settlement, but these stones here are all graves. Remember how you tripped on one of them? Pretty bad move, huh? Better apologize. Wait, seriously? You should have told me sooner. Yasumizu's ancestors. I am so sorry. I'm sorry. Nah, I'm kidding. I thought I'd scare you. I know you don't really have a choice, but I brought you to a half-ruined village with monsters in it. You believe in monsters? Yep. I asked, ignoring what I'd seen for myself. Yeah, I do. Chimi's voice resounded through the impossibly thick, cloudy air. I didn't think you were the type. And you're the type who's weirded out by that. Um, I wouldn't go that far. Bullshit. I can see it all over your face. Was it that obvious? Wasn't like I'd found it disgusting or anything. I just didn't think I could get along with people who believe stuff like that, despite lack of actual proof. That was probably how it was. Well, can you give me a reason? I don't have one. I don't believe that. Well, if I do, it's because I've seen God. Okay. Cool. Yeah, that was a... Yeah, see? Now you're weirded out. Tell me more. Wow! Not bailing out after all. Well, for now, don't worry about it. Let's focus on the immediate issue. Well, she was hiding something. It was either that hard to explain or a lot more important than she was acting. About this feast thing, huh? Oh, alright then. Chiemi explains! Yay! Oh, yay! I've been waiting for this. Graveyard probably isn't the best place to joke around like this, but at least you could see past your nose and didn't seem like we'd have to worry about anyone eavesdropping. I tried putting together everything Chiemi told me. First, Fujiyoshi Village had a unique legend. There might have been similar ones somewhere outside, but I'm just going to call it Fujiyoshi exclusive for the time being. People were worshipped a god called Lord Shinai, the avatar of Shinai, or just Shinai-san. Also, the mountain in this village was called Mount Shinai, meaning the religion deified the mountain. Anyway, sometime in the past, I don't know when, Shinai-san had helped the people living here and sent 5 beasts called the Guardians. However, just like nature could be really harsh, he had a scary side. And if you didn't follow his laws of the mountain, he'd curse you without mercy. The Okami-sama was the ultimate form of his cruelty, though the Okami-sama watched over the hunt, the Okami-sama also oppressed, tortured, and punished humans. Very nice. The other guardians, though, were largely benevolent ones. The snake predicted the weather and the harvest yields. The monkeys defied the wolves, secretly teaching the people of fire, along with the other important bits of knowledge. Oh, you don't like spiders? I don't know if I can cover it up. Oops, I clicked away. The crow pecked at and ate up the flesh of the Yombito, the enemies of the Shinai. And Spider warded off the Yombito and ensured that the humans slept and dreamt soundly. The Yombito did indeed mean people from Yomi, as in the land of the dead, but apparently it wasn't very clear what they actually were. But just as I'd suspected before, it was thought they had something to do with the corruption, death, and the land of Yomi. The most likely idea was that they were the dead that had returned from Yomi to bring harm to the people still alive. At the start of the legend, Shinai-san, the animals and humans were facing the Yombito. Apparently, that was still how it was in Kami Fujiyoshi, the leading part of Fujiyoshi. It was the basis of the teachings of the great Lord Shinai's religion. Thanks to that, the 5 beasts, including the Okami-sama and Shinai-san, were still worshipped there. In Yasumizu, however, things were a bit different. Ugh. The legend had a turning point when the humans, snake, monkeys, crow, and spider cooperated to kill the Okami-sama. With the destruction of their cruel rule, the human village experienced great growth. That had been when the Forehead families, who were said to have the blood of the 4 guardians in their veins, were formed. The snake was Miguruma, the monkeys were the Higuchi, the crow was Nosato, and the spider was Uematsu. However, it didn't end there. The Okami-sama joined the Yombito side and became a sinister creature that wanted to harm humans. Saranaga Rapids were Yombito territory, and the Okami-sama appeared from there whenever the evening mists came. The Okami-sama would kill an inhabitant take on their form and act like them, but at night, they would show their true selves and brutalize the real inhabitants. That was why the people of Yasumizu, who lived next to the Saranaga Rapids, had to stop them. For the Great Lord Shinai created an event called the Feast of the Yomi Purge. Despite its name, it was no banquet, but a ritual to kill the wolf. In the feast, the villagers were allowed to kill one person a day. You had to basically kill your own people, something that was taboo for ages. But it was permitted here in order to get rid of the group of the wolf. Some humans were also given the powers of the guardians, which we know. It was like a banquet of betrayal. They all drank some sake and chose someone to kill. Get drunk and decide who to kill. That more or less explains everything. I see. It was a lot to unpack, but I got the gist of it. Basically, the humans betrayed the Okami-sama, one of their guardian divinities, and we're still paying the price. But there were some points I didn't really get. I won't tell this to anyone else, but I'm pretty sure I saw the Okami-sama. No way! Where? I just took a peek through the space in the outhouse door, so I didn't really get a good look. I couldn't tell it that I'd had a realistic dream where I was killed. It had a human body and the head of a wolf. Wow. Can I take that as he seriously saw it? Yeah, a human body and a wolf head matches up with the depiction of the Okami-sama and Shinai-san's festivals and the deified images in Kami Fujiyoshi. Before I saw it though, I heard a woman scream, so I figured that thing killed Mamiya-san. Was that the brutalization that you told me about? I mean, if it killed and replaced her, you wouldn't have her body, right? Sorry, I forgot to tell you something. Shinai-san is very strict with his laws and gives various punishments to those who break them. You did mention something like that. So basically, they broke the rule of preparing for the feast by bathing, locking up in a room all by yourself, and sleeping. That's why it's believed they died to the corruption. Oh, so they didn't die from the wolf? I couldn't see how you could get such mutilated corpses from something called the corruption, but there was something more important. Basically, you didn't tell me about the laws and turned me into Toilet Man, so I could die, huh? No. Listen, I honestly thought there was no way an outsider could survive. But I wanted to at least find a way that gave you a shot at making it through the night, because I didn't want to let you die. And hey, look at that. I actually survived. Yeah, sorry, but I really didn't expect this. Oh, so she just promised she'd explain because she thought I was dead meat anyways. Shame. I didn't get splush splushed, huh? Don't be like that. I'm actually really glad you didn't die. I wasn't sure how to feel about this, but hey, at least she tried, right? So that scream really was Mamiya-san's, huh? Or was it someone who got brutalized? No, I'm not really sure. From what you told me, it's possible that that was your scream, and that the Okami-san already replaced you. Well, it's possible, but I know full well I'm no wolf, and that's what I'm gonna say. Oh, just like everyone else, huh? Yeah, that's a fair point. Now this was a predicament. Question 1. Go for it. Are those marks the only proof that there are 2 wolves? I recalled the strange symbol on the large rock, the 2 warped diamonds with the spirals inside. Yeah, that mark represents Okami-sama returning from Yomi. So since there are 2 marks, it stands to reason there are 2 wolves. Oh, so it's just speculation. Not much reason to question it though. We have these annual mountain festivals, and there's always a guardian costume parade. The number of wolves in the parade is announced in a similar way. So, it's normal for there to be multiple wolves, huh? Yeah. In Shinai-sama's shrine, for example, you have 3 wolf statues. For the festival, the Migurama divine the number of wolves or something, and then record that number overnight. By leaving those marks on stones, huh? No, Kami Fujiyoshi doesn't have Okiba, those are the stones, so they apparently draw them on the shrine grounds. Apparently. The people of Yasumizu are taught to wait for the guardians in Yasumizu, so I never saw the marks myself. So those marks in Kami Fujiyoshi mean 1 wolf in the parade. No, not exactly. The wolf sign in Kami Fujiyoshi isn't as worked, for one. The mark with the spiral and diamond is only a sign of the wolves that come back from Yomi. It's a Yasumizu thing, so they don't have it in Kami Fujiyoshi. I see, but still, the number of wolves and marks match up. Yep, a 3-wolf festival is considered good luck there. Chime herself didn't look the least bit happy to talk about it. Anyway, all I had to take from this was that there was at most 3 Okami-sama, the wolves. I had to fix my perception of the situation. Oh look, they're chilling. The wolves were a group of 3 werewolves. I wasn't too well versed in myths and folklore, but I certainly hadn't heard of any Japanese myths about werewolves or wolfmen. I did hear of Jinmenken and of possession by fox spirits, but werewolves did seem like a very European thing. On the other hand, the fact that there were 3 of them seemed pretty standard. I guess it had something to do with presentation, you know, trinities and all that. Though the idea of 3 werewolves did seem a bit excessive in terms of content. Yeah, I mean, there's only like 7 people in town. Anyways, I now had a better grasp of the situation. That made it easier to understand what was going on here. What about the humans who got guardians? How many of those are there? There are 2 monkeys, but only 1 of each of the rest. I see. So 5 guardians and 2 wolves, and the rest are humans. It's pretty bad that there are 2 wolves. Because that would make them strong? That's one reason, but you can also only kill 1 per day, right? So if there's multiple, getting them all will take more time. Oh, and I just realized the crow would be kind of pointless if there was only 1 wolf. Well, why is that? Well, the crow's ability lets them tell when the corpse is a wolf or a human, right? That means a wolf doesn't transform back into a wolf even when it dies. The corpse remains human. That makes the crow's power useful. You wouldn't be able to tell if a wolf was dead otherwise. Yeah, that's true, but what does that have to do with the number of wolves? Well, if there was only 1 wolf and they kill him, what happens next? Well, exactly, it's nothing. Or rather, the wolves won't kill any more people. Game over. Humans win. Ah, yes. So, if there was only 1 wolf, you could tell it was dead because all the killings would stop. And then the crow would be pointless. That's right. Wow, you're sharp. Well, it's not like this information is very useful. It's true, it's like only in this fringe random village is this information useful. I'm still impressed by how you keep cool in this mess. You're not just some student, are you? Well, what else could I be? Are you a detective? Ooh, I like that. Yeah, I'm a famous detective who's come to solve a difficult case in the countryside. Seishi Yokomizu's world. And you normally investigate affairs and deaths? Wow, that got real quick. Anyway, I got more questions. How many people can wolves kill per day? It'd suck if everyone got killed overnight. That won't happen. Remember the snake? They need to ask the mountain who's what. True. And the spider would be pretty useless if they just protected 1 human while everyone else, including them, died. It's also why I wondered if Mamiya-san and Hoshimato-san got brutalized. Killing even 2 people would make it pretty bad, but if it was just 1 per day, or... Well, that raises another question. Why do these supernatural monsters even need to follow the rules like this? Is that weird? Yeah. Imagine if there were 3. 1 corpse would barely serve as a snack. They're not attacking people because they're hungry. Oh, so this is just for revenge? Not really sure, but doesn't seem like they're doing this because they want to. I feel they have their own laws that they have to obey. And that was what bothered me so much. The Feast of the Yomi Purge had rules, and breaking them would mean being taken by the corruption. Some sort of supernatural punishment for Shinai-san. If this was really just divine retribution, surely he would want the Yonbito done away with immediately. However, instead, the humans retained the aid of their guardians, and only 1 kill was permitted each day. Even the wolves couldn't break the rules. Were the laws of the mountain equally binding to both man and wolf? In Christian theology, both humans and Satan were God's creations, equal before him and all acting based on his master plan. Was the god of the mountains similarly inclined? A legend of slain wolves and their revenge. Was it really just that simple, or was there something else going on here? It was quite scary. And I wanted to know all about it. I guess we should at least ask the elders how many people the wolves kill. Yeah, true. But is someone really gonna die again tonight? We've already got 2 casualties, and for all we know, those the wolves replaced might be dead too. Hold on. They're cleaning up the bodies, right? We gotta check them properly to make sure there aren't more than 2 bodies. Kanzoji-chan checked it first thing in the morning. There were only 2 people's worth of bones and guts. Morbid. Does he have experience with this kind of thing? Yeah, he's a hunter, so he's used to butchering animals. Awkward. That makes sense. That reminds me, this is probably the most important thing. Why aren't you trying to run away or call the police? Give me a straight answer to this. I honestly can't think of a better move in this situation. I get that people are superstitious here, but people are dying. So why was not a single person objecting? We can't escape this place. Can I ask why? Dude, this is purgatory or hell or something. It's complicated, but we all know it's true. This is giving me like Dead by Daylight type vibes, where like everyone's dead, and they play this like game of werewolf to appease, you know, the deities afterlife. There's no way to escape this place. The mist is completely impassable. I'm not gonna waste time on something I know can't be done. Have you seen it yourself, or are you just trusting what someone else said? Sorry, I can't really explain now, but I just know. Once the feast begins, no one can leave Yasumizu. So, in this case, it wasn't logic, but blind conviction. Or perhaps she subconsciously gained that knowledge through some experience. Like I did. Yep. So, you have no proof, but still believe you can't escape? Yep. Everyone else would probably say the same. What are the odds that your blind faith in this is total bullshit? Well, it's higher than 0. That would make things a lot scarier, like even Haruaki is dead. Yeah, I think Haruaki might have died in the bike crash. Like, I think he might have crashed his bike and died. And that's how he got here. What if I said, and that would explain like the death loops and stuff too. What if I said that as someone overlooked by the god of the mountain would try to leave anyways? I do everything I could to stop you. Even if the others allow it, it's because they don't care if you die. That was scary. So you're worried about me. I'm worried more about you than anyone else here. Oh, thank you. I can just feel the love. Love? She got all red on me now. This seems to be taking it pretty far for an act. No. I just have a conscience. Well, the others here don't, then? Clearly not. Well, you should know they're way colder to outsiders than they appear. Kind of an outsider myself, so I can relate to your situation. Oh, you'd go on a road trip with someone just based on that? Hey, that might have been our final farewell in this life, so I wanted to make it nice. Yeah, so she just lied through her teeth because she thought we were dying to the werewolf last night. Huh? You only agreed because you felt sorry for me? Don't think you can get out of your promise that easily. Whoa, how do I respond to that? Oh, but wait, your bike's broken. If it's for a date, I'd take out a loan for a new one. A date? Oh, well, I guess it is, but you'll take out a loan while you're still in school? Besides, don't promises like that usually end up with someone dying? Let's worry about that after we survive. Well, shit. First she was all over me, and now she's playing hard to get. In normal circumstances, that could be kind of fun, but right now she was the only one I could rely on. The emotional support would have been nice. Back to the whole police thing. Really, you can't expect much from them here. Because it's supernatural? Well, that's one reason, but we also only have just one officer in Kami Fujiyoshi. And Kami Fujiyoshi wants nothing to do with what happens down here in Yasumizu. You know, I've been thinking. Spot on. I hadn't even said anything yet. Yep. Yasumizu is basically the local settlement for those who were ostracized. She really did guess what I was gonna say. Ostracism. In ancient times, villages often punished criminals and the like by ostracizing them. They were ignored and excluded from all social welfare aid. Basically, people were excluded from larger group and treated coldly. It was one step away from banishment. It was just an emotional torment. It wasn't just emotional torment either. Back in those days, not getting the help of the other people was a matter of life and death, making this quite a harsh punishment. Did you all do something? Most of us did nothing. The Makishima, Yamawaki, and Muro families have been here for generations. Can you keep a secret? Sure. Kaori Oribe-san was originally an outsider who married into the Higuchi family, but her husband messed up somewhere down the line and died. I hear she was forced to move here with Yasukun, who was still very little at the time. Well, that wasn't a pleasant story. I had heard ostracism still survived, even to this day and age. Some groups would brazenly cut off your gas or water supplies if you didn't fit in. Then again, neighbors in cities had their own communication problems. Basically, humans really hadn't changed much over the years. Still, ostracism because of family troubles? In this day and age? It seems so weird, ugly, and well, behind the times. Then there's Mochi. He was the Nosato family's heir apparent. Guy's an actual blue blood. Really? Yeah, he and Kiyonosuke-san are uncle and nephew. They were nothing alike. Mochi's a bit weird though. So he was put up for adoption and sent to Yasumizu. Oh yeah, Kiyonosuke-san had said something about that. Sheesh, what century do they think that it is? What about you? I did an oopsie. Oh, did you used to be a bit wild? You don't like that? Oh no, on the contrary, I'm actually into that. Oh, wow, you really do go all in, don't you? With her pulling hit and runs, I really had no choice. Anyway, this place was basically abandoned. I couldn't expect any outside help, and everyone here believed they couldn't escape this place due to supernatural reasons. So what were my options here? Oh boy, okay. I think we stay. I actually think we might die if we try to leave. I'm staying. They also said choices affect immediately, so this isn't some downline thing. Being left out of the feast hardly guaranteed my safety. Obviously, escape was the ideal choice, but at this point, I didn't see anyone guiding me out. All I had to look forward to was either dropping dead somewhere in the mountains or becoming a snack in this village. First seemed way more attractive, but unfortunately, I'd kind of gotten attached to the people here. Abandoning them would at least make it hard for me to sleep at night. That's why running away wasn't an option. I'll go ahead and ask then. Why aren't you letting me eat Yasumizu stuff? What is the foreshadowing? Ah, so you noticed. Yeah, and I figure I should clear up anything shady before it comes back to bite me. It's kind of scary. You got me. Well, really, this is just some insurance. A little medicine for the mind. Oh, tell me more. You know how it can be, right? You eat something from a strange place, and the next thing I know, you're turned into a pig and can't run away? What? Is this hell or something? I'd seen that anime on DVD, by the way. Which way to the bathhouse? I don't get this reference. I can't say it isn't. Seemed like some serious overthinking to me, if not just serious superstition. So, how long will this last? I brought a ton of food from the outside, so you'll be fine for a while. Well, got ramen. I did appreciate it, but I had mixed feelings on living like it was the apocalypse over a local superstition. Anyway, we went back to Chiami's room, and she gave me some cup ramen. We agreed I'd pay for it after this was all over. I had actually skipped 2 meals, so I was quite hungry. But I was used to skipping meals to cut costs, so it wasn't really a problem. I wanted to relax and think things over, but Chiami was curious about the others, so I ended up tagging along. It was probably because I wasn't in a position to be there by myself. Oh, welcome. Are you here for lunch? No, we're just here to kill time. Can we sit? Of course, I'll bring you some tea. Can I just have warm water instead? Oh, but tea is good for you. Oh, well, I'm the type who can't sleep if I drink tea. I see. Warm water it is then. Who orders warm water? Sounds gross. I'd have liked it if you refused that too. But you use the water from here whenever you make cup ramen, right? Oh, you didn't think about that? Maybe it's safe when you boil it. How does she know it's not safe? Could hell's water really be purified by boiling? Oh, is he just all in on the fact that this is hell? Here you go. I must say, you're quite unfortunate. Your bike was broken and now you're, She's so sad that no one drinks her tea. I feel bad for this lady. Does this kind of thing happen often? Is it annual or something? I asked something important like it was no big deal. No, it certainly isn't that common. Personally, this is my first feast. I did hear that people died when the mist appeared before, but that was before most of us were here. As in they hadn't been ostracized back then, or I don't want to dig too deep. So this is going to be a first for many people here, right? Yes, I think so. I see. Well, if that's the case, knowledge of the rules seems strangely well kept. You see what kind of place this is, don't you? There's not much in the way of entertainment here, so the little ones grow up listening to the tales of their elders. Old tales and songs are always passed down and survive for a long time. Songs? Song! Oh, whoa. The mysterious Mako-chan popped out of nowhere. I know the song. Oh, do you? Well, could you sing it for us? I'm not singing the song, sorry. This is what she was singing in the murder pit. One cake, 2 funky, 3 blow, 4 rider. Cake, funky, blow, and rider. Oh my goodness gracious. Was this about a guy who had a funky birthday party with a cake and ended the night on a happier note? The melody seemed familiar. Those guys, rude boy. I guess it was too difficult for her. Oh, she must have messed it up. Mako, so this is where you were. Ah. Her guardian came soon after. Oh, I'm sorry. We just had lunch, so this place is a bit of a mess. Kaori-san humbled herself. Oh no, I'm the one who should apologize. I let Mako wander off here. No need for that. It's a difficult time for us all. You are free to come here and relax whenever you'd like. Very well. Oh, someone got punched. Oh, the woman just collapsed. Oh my god, are you okay? You know what she's saying? I have no idea what she's talking about with that song. Apparently she wasn't trying some unique form of relaxation. She just tripped on the rail. Oh! Oh my god, sad eyes. She put her hands on her throbbing nose and became teary-eyed. The lady's mysterious voice crumbled in an instant. The woman noticed my surprise and pouted. She might have been more expressive than I realized. Please don't look at me. Oh, I'm sorry. Now that I think about it, this is the first time we've talked. Oh. You might be right. My apologies. Oh, for what? I got you involved in all of this. Run. Oh yeah, that's true. You told me to run away. I saw the evening mist come, but I hope you could escape. Oh, so that's how it was. Part of me thought you foretold the future or something. Uematsu isn't the Lookout family. Now that sounds significant. What do you mean by that? Well, this is something we can't share with outsiders. Chimi's lack of reserve made me forget my boundaries here. Oh, yeah, sorry. You're just wearing some strange clothes, so I thought you were some kind of priestess or something. Oh no, I'm not that important. Haruaki-san, don't bother Ikuo-san too much. Oh, I didn't mean to. I'm sorry, Rikako-san. Oh, you just called me by my first name? Oh, excuse me. Sorry. Chimi called her that way, so I thought it was okay. Man, I'm confused. I'm not that bothered. Oh, sorry about that. Oh, look at that. You two are getting along. I'd have appreciated if she didn't put me in a weird situation. I'm going to go back. What about you, Mako? I'll stay a bit longer.
そう
I see.
夕方前には
Come
戻って
back before
ね
evening. And so she left.
ちょっぴり不思議ちゃん入ってるけど
She's a bit weird, but still cute, right?
そうだね。
Yep.
可愛い人だよね
And she's cute, right?
そうかな。
Is she?
どっち
Tell me, which one is it?
こっちのセリフですが。
That's what I'm asking.
美人はいいな
Oh man, natural beauties have it so good. They look young and pretty no matter how old they get. Oh, this is bait.
あえて食いつくけど、
Alright, fine. I'll bite.
彼女っていくつ
How old is she?
よくわかんない
I don't know. I'm pretty sure she's younger than 30, but she's definitely older than
私よ
me.
りはお姉さんだ
十分意外なんだけど。
That's older than expected.
よね
I know, right? She's so little. And did you see that baby face?
ちなみに彼女って、
By the way, is she...
こんにちは
Hello? We are now joined by the students.
母さん、今いい？
Mom, can we come in now?
あら安永
Oh, Yasunaga. Haru-chan. Welcome, welcome.
ちょっとあなた
Hey, you.
はい、あなたのあ
Yep,
なたです。
that's me. You, at your service.
ふざけてるの
Are you messing with me? I was.
なんだろう、は、牧島さん。
Oh, what's up, Haru? Makishima-san?
今はるちゃんって呼び
You almost called me Haru-chan, didn't you? We've only just met. You don't do that. It's unreasonable.
お、落ち着くんだ。
Oh, whoa, 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 calm down. Hysteric heroines aren't popular. You're still messing around. I came here to say something to you. Her behavior was pretty unreasonable too, to be honest. But instead of pointing it out, I just corrected my posture and wanted to hear what she had to say. You're getting too close to Chiene. She's pretty busy, so you should leave her alone and do your own thing.
そうだったのか。
You were busy?
いや別にそんな
I wouldn't say so. Even if she does have some free time, she's a lady. So you need to be considerate and keep your distance. It's the mature thing to do.
それは確かにそうかもしんない。
Well, that's true.
認めるんだったらとっととどっか行きなさいよ
If you agree, then just go away somewhere. This is why adults are so unfair, filthy, and annoying.
そうです。私が
Ah,
汚い
yes, that's me. I am a filthy old man.
はるちゃん、そんなこと言うために。
Haru-chan, did you really come with me just to say that? Oh, Mom, I have a message from Takumini.
何かしら
What is it?
しばらくは夜早い
We'll be going to sleep early for a
お弁当
while,
にした方
so
がいいんじゃないかって。
maybe we should have packed lunches.
それは
Oh, that's true. I should hurry and start making the rice.
あと、ふさしさん。
Also, Fusaishi-san, take this.
ぼんよよよよ。え、僕？
Oh, voyum! Me? I was busy deflecting Haru-chan's attacks with my stupidity barrier, so being dragged into a conversation surprised me a bit. He gave me a rather dirty, rusty, cheap-looking cylindrical key. Ooh. It wasn't even attached to a keychain.
学生寮の鍵です。
It's the key to the dorm. Takumi said he got it from Taiba.
え、どうしてそんな？
Why did he do that?
今朝は外に寝させて悪かった。
He said he felt pretty bad about making you sleep outside last night.
律儀でよく気がつく人だな。
What a sincere and considerate person.
そうでしょ
He really is. People like him make living in a place like this far easier.
なんと
母さん、
Mom, you really... Oh,
お米
oh, the rice. With an awkward smile on her face, Kaori-san went back to the kitchen.
すみません。お恥ずかしいところ。
I'm sorry you had to see that.
まあ、
Oh, don't worry.
よそ者には
I'm just a
何が
clueless
何だかわから
outsider.
ないので問題ないよ。
I made a blatant lie. Everyone could tell Kaori-san and Takumi-san would make a nice couple.
いえ、はるちゃん
Oh,
は
I'm talking about Haru-chan too. Hey,
よその人には
stop picking a fight with the outsider.
何よ
Hey, he's bothering you too, isn't he?
別に。
Not really. Anyway, if you don't have anything to do with the feast, then just get out.
はるちゃんやめろって。
Haru-chan, stop it already.
なんでよ
Why?
ふさしさんは被害者だ。
Fusaishi-san is a victim.
そんな白状な
Don't
こと
be
を
so
言うんじゃない。
heartless.
何よ兄ちゃんのバカ
What the hell? You're such a dummy.
ああ、もう
Oh my god, this is such a mess. They had stopped fighting about me. They had to stop fighting about me. There was an innocent little girl here. Also, Chime's info was confirmed to be true. Trying to escape seemed dangerous, and recommending it was heartless. Basically, getting out of here was difficult. That made me all the more grateful for the room. I'd been so busy trying to understand what was going on in this place, but I didn't even consider how to deal with it myself. I'd have to thank Takumi-san later.
まあまあ二人とも落ち着いて。はるちゃん、ちえねえと遊ぼうのコーナー。
Calm down, you two. Haru-chan, you want to play with Chiene?
遊ぶって何？
Play what?
信頼モーデ。
Let's play Prayer to Shinai.
今？
Boring.
なんでまた？
Now? Seriously?
めいこちゃんに。
I want to show Meiko-chan how it's supposed to be done.
ね。
Oh?
いいけど。
That's fine, but
ちえねって。
wow, you
そういうの
really
結
care
構
about stuff like this,
こだわ
huh?
るよね。まあね。
Yeah, kind of. Well, something was about to begin. No longer the center of attention, I began drinking the hot water Kaori-san placed before me. The teacup had a strange symbol enameled at the bottom. It looked like a family crest.
安永くん。
Yasunaga-kun, what does this mean?
ああ。上藤吉
Ah, that's one of the Kami Fujiyoshi head family
そんな
crests.
食器。
She should just throw that away. His harsh tone made it pretty likely that this was the crest of the Higuchi family, the ones who banished them to here. Haru-chan moved in a chair and sat down in front of Chieme.
私が男役でいい？
Can I play the man's role?
いいよ。
Sure.
じゃあ行くよ。
Let's go.
一二せーの。
1, 2.
信頼さんの
Alright, so this is gonna be the correct song, I guess.
お守りは日が
Oh, cake, funky, blow. Okay, so they rhyme. They started playing an action rhyme, much like Ring Around the Rosie or London Bridge is Falling Down. Fully in sync, they clapped and slapped their knees, clapped again, joined hands, etc., all according to the rhythm. And there was no mistaking it. This was actually the song I had heard yesterday morning. Ooh. Yeah, it's just her. She can't speak correctly. That makes sense. 5. Prepare for the feast when the evening mists arrive. The badger. Prepare for the feast when the evening mists arrive. Oh. Oh, this sounds a little ominous. The movement switched up too. Haru-chan hit her face, while Chieme stood up a bit and grabbed her by the shoulders. Similar line, but the roles switched. Oh my goodness gracious. They returned to the same tone and movements as before, and then at a slightly awkward point, the song suddenly just ended. Then they quickly stood up and...
Yay!
Yay! It's been so long since I did this, I kind of panicked. Apparently they were done. See that, Meiko-chan? This is how it's done. Oh, wow. You were so fast, I couldn't see it all. Alright, Haru-chan. Teach it to Meiko-chan. Huh? Me? Teach me, teach me. Well, alright. Yasukun, there's something I want to talk to you about. Chieme's tone was serious.
何かな
What is it? Yasunaga-kun instantly understood this was important, but he seemed to be mindful of me.
もし宴のことだったら
Well, if it's about the
僕がい
feast,
な
I
い方がいいかな
should go, right?
すみません
I'm sorry. Jimmy gave me a meaningful look as I left. She'd probably tell me something the next time we met. I want to know how this guy's influences the werewolf game. I'm heading out then. Very well. You take care now. Kaori-san stuck her head out to say goodbye to me as I left the dining hall. I put together what I'd learned, the settlement's beliefs, circumstances, and the inhabitants' stances. However, Chimmy was really the only one I could go directly get info from. I couldn't account for any biases that she might have had. The other inhabitants, albeit to varying degrees, didn't trust me. I could probably have decent talks with Yasunaga-kun, but his situation seemed to be similar to Chimmy's. I'd have liked to get info from the elders. Maybe my best option was to somehow join the feast myself. From what Chimmy had told me, the feast was really vile and dangerous tradition, and that didn't change even when you consider the tales, and that there had already been lynchings because of this. Normally, something so brutal would have changed and become harmless festival by now. How did such a tradition survive in the modern day, despite murder and lynchings being completely illegal? Is this place simply beyond the reach of the law or something? Or... it's because I saw a god. Or because you'd actually get cursed if you didn't do what the tales told you to do. How stupid. And again, I couldn't really write it off. My stance on gods and monsters was basically that, as long as they could be seen, I'm willing to accept their existence. I believe nothing is beyond the comprehension of modern science, so was narrow-minded at best. New technologies and methods could easily reveal things that were previously undetectable. This had happened many times throughout human history. The idea that there were strange animals, ghosts, or aliens that were simply beyond our current ability to perceive was entirely plausible. However, there were disappointing realities too. For example, the original story about something mysterious could have easily been a lie, trick, misunderstanding, or just misinformation. Generally speaking, the mysteries of the world all turn out to be one of those. Science disproves things for more often than it has confirmed them, but that's pretty damn boring. Surely even Houdini, famous for exposing mediums and other frauds, wanted to believe in psychic phenomena. He'd searched the world in hopes of meeting a real medium, but each he found proved to be fake in the end. Well, considering I'd actually seen something that shouldn't have existed, you could say that I was in a way more exciting situation than him. Though my life was in danger, so I didn't really want to waste time trying to speculate what that thing was. Back to the matter at hand. For now, the most important thing was understanding and surviving the feast. To pull that off, I needed more info. I still hadn't heard how today's talk had ended. Based on the mood of the place, no one seemed to have died at least. They died? Shocked, I turned around. Who was this? It was some girl I'd never seen before. They died. Yes, they did. They all died. How do you not recognize him? You will die surely too. Welcome to Fujiyoshi, you poor man. The girl turned and ran, her skirt swaying behind her. Hey, wait, Mochi. What? How'd you know, Poop Man? Who are you calling Poop Man? And well, your clothes were surprising, sure, but you should work on your acting skills. Hey, this ain't a costume or anything. So, you're saying you wear that normally? Yep, I'm super poor, so the school uniform was the only thing I could wear, and Taiban never stopped complaining about it. That's why I borrowed Haru-chan's old clothes. Ah, they're cute, aren't they? Well, they are, but you're a guy, right? If I didn't already, I'd have assumed he was a girl. Yep, I have one. You can check when we're pissing together. Oh, crude. I didn't want to see it at all. Are you uncomfortable with your gender or something? No, I'm a guy. Then why? There's no reason. This is just the way I am. The way you are? I'm an eccentric. There's something wrong with my head, so it's hard for me to get along with normal people. Nah, doesn't mean there's something wrong. But I feel the hard to get along with normal people vibe. But I also can't just do whatever I please, so I ended up just being a bit weird.
つまり
So this is simply in your nature? Yeah. Speaking of nature, if it wasn't so cold, I wouldn't mind going around naked. So basically this was a guy with a unique sense of, well, everything. Unless he found something that really clicked, he'd have a hard time living anywhere, even in the city.
そりゃ
You have my sympathies. Hey, Yasumizu's actually pretty easy to live in. You should move here, Poop Man.
なんでそんな話になるかな
What does that have to do with anything? Living in the city's hard, ain't it?
いや断然
Nope.
便利だし
It's way more convenient than living here. Really? I thought you'd escape because something bad happened.
まあそれは否定
Well, I can't deny that. No, Gia. You're a weirdo too, right?
全力で
That one I cannot deny. Wait, really? I thought we were birds of a feather. Right? Old man? Oh, God. Whoa, the weird old guy was in the bushes. I think Poop Man's a real weirdo. I know, right? That's what Poop Man is. Poop Man.
お願いだから
Oh my god, please don't spread that name. I don't give a damn if you use Fusaishi or Haraki, but anything but Poop Man. Hassan? Hassan. Did I look like a Middle Easterner? I was mildly bothered by the accentuation too. He was probably avoiding using nicknames that were similar to Haruchan's name.
まあ
Well, whatever.
それで
That works. Poopman became Hassan. I was never Poopman to begin with. You're close to the old man? We're fellow crazies. Well, the old man seemed to be enjoying it. Join us, Hassan. When the mist clears, we can go steal chickens from Kamefuji Yoshi.
そんなカッパ的な
Why would I do something like that? What are you, Kappas? Hell, why did he like me this much? Well, that might be a good thing. He seemed to be more unique than the other two students.
ちなみに今日は
By the way, why aren't you with the other students today? Well, Haru-chan was angry, so I felt it wasn't going to be fun with her.
彼女は何を怒ってたの
Why was she angry? Haru-chan likes Yasun. Yasun. Oh, okay. So she doesn't like that Yasun seems happy about Chiene coming back.
うん
I see.
そしたらなぜ
So
僕が
why
怒
was
ら
she
れる
mad at me? Haru-chan actually wants Yasun and Chiene to get together. Well, I sure didn't expect to hear something like that.
片思いしてる
So she's helping the target of her unrequited love get his sweetheart? Yep. That's why you barging in and getting along with Chiene messed things up for her. So basically, I accidentally entered a love triangle.
ちなみにちえみちゃんはそういうの
Does Chiemi-chan know of any of this? Pretty sure she does, but she doesn't do anything about it. He has a snowball's chance in hell. Man, this kid was harsh. So yeah, good on ya, Hassan. Chiene is yours.
いや
Oh, is she
どうか
now?
なっていうか
And wait, are you okay with this? Why are you asking?
いや
Well, I haven't been here for long, but from what I've seen, you're wild with most people, but kind of gallant around Haru-chan. Well, you're probably right. She's a childhood friend and a bit of an airhead, so I do worry about her. That's all.
意外だなモッチ
That's unexpected.
そういうやつをから
You seem like the type to mess with such people. I'd mess around with you to the very end. I owe a lot to Yasun, and Haru-chan is an unfortunate girl. Oh, shoot. Hold on, I dropped something. You know what? Asking too much at once isn't good, so you'll have to tell me more some other time.
すでに喋りすぎ
Ah, I already said too much, Hassan. What kind of magic did you use on me? He was the only one who'd gone blabbing on his
とこ
own.
ろでさっき死んだって言ってたけど
By the way, you said that someone died.
いや
Did
記者
they?
さんは亡くなったけど
Well, I know the journalist did.
休みず人はまだ死んでないけど
Yasumizu's people are still alive, but they're all as good as dead.
なんでそう
Well, why do you think that?
さあなんでとかは
Who
僕には
knows?
わからん
I'm not good at reasons, but, well,
匠兄がヘ
when
ビだって
Takumi
言った
said he was the
時
snake,
嫌な
I had a
感じがしたん
bad
だ
feeling come over me.
あー今
Oh, it felt like I could hear the wolves laughing.
待て
Wait,
今なんて言っ
what
た
did you just say?
狼様が
I could
笑
hear
った
the
な
wolves laughing.
その前だ
No, before that.
うーん
Oh, when Takumi said he was the
匠兄
snake.
がヘビだって言った
匠さんがヘビなのか
Takumi-san is the snake?
そう言ってた
That's what he said.
ちょっと休養ができた
I got some urgent business.
Mochi.
Mochi, old man, I'll see you both.
え
Huh? The wolf is coming.
知ってたのか
You knew? Oh. Shit. I didn't have the time here, nor the connections.
ムロさん
Muro-san.
あ
Huh? What?
なんだ
That was my line. Why was he farming at a time like
鍵
this?
ありがとうございます
Thank you for the key.
あ
Don't mention it, but don't walk around by yourself. Everyone's on edge as it is.
そのことですが
About that.
ムロさんは
Do you know how many humans the wolves can kill per night?
知恵みのやつ
Chieme-wen told you about all that, huh?
僕が無理に聞き出したんです
I insisted on it.
というか
In fact,
話
you
が
had to have
進
seen
む
it
ことは
coming
あなたも
when you
予想
sent her to
した上
meet
で
me.
それでも情報は断片的ですが
The info I have is still limited, but I'm a bit
すい
worried.
ませんが
Sorry to bother you, but can you tell me more?
実のとこ
Sorry, won't cut it.
俺はバカ
It's a
らしい
huge bother. I don't want to waste any time on this dumb shit. I have a farm to care for.
知恵みやあんたにはわかるかと思ったが
I thought you and Chieme would understand, but you're serious about this too? Well, he really didn't seem all that bothered by this.
もう2人死んでいる
Two people already died.
何が珍しいんだ
And what of it?
は
Whoa, huh?
あのな
Listen, people die all the time, and I'm always the one stuck cleaning it up. What was he talking about?
上の土砂崩れの現場見
Did
た
you
か
see the aftermath of the landslide uphill?
野里が手入れたら
It's been like that ever since the Nosoto got to work on the place 8 years ago and it collapsed.
気味悪なって
They were too freaked out to even clean it up. I ended up digging out the workers' corpses, and burying them. I had no idea that was such a big deal.
バカな町のやつ
Then there's the idiots from the city, coming here just to hang themselves or get eaten by wild beasts. Me and the old man always have to deal with that mess. It's not true for Saranaga to bring up corpses either. I don't know if they're mountain fishers or something, but it's dangerous upstream, damn it. And yet, no one cares. I pick them up, give them all nameless graves, and leave it at that. Beasts, corpses. You never know what you'll find in the mountains, kid.
でも今回は村の中で
But this time, it was in the village. Yeah, I was wondering about that too. I never heard of Asian black bears eating humans, so maybe we got a pack of actual wolves here. Oh shit. Sorry, I bumped my camera. Hold on. Try to readjust it. Oh jeez. Sorry, folks. Give me one moment. Okay, I think that did it. Let me just readjust my position. No, I don't think that was good. Hold on. Yeah, probably there. Whoop. Okay, Let me just check something really quick. Sorry about that. Okay, I think that's good. Okay. Yeah. I was wondering about that too. I never heard of Asian blackbears. Yeah, we said that. Okay. You're saying this was done by beasts? You're saying it was done by humans? What of it? We just have to create a night patrol. Why the hell do we have to kill each other? This person was hard to read. There was no denying that he had a good head on his shoulders. He was reasonable and skeptical about the unknown. But on the other hand, there were some things he put even above rationality. I felt like something you could call Yasumizu's rules, or better yet, fellowship. He looked at the situation from the perspective of, I gotta protect Yasumizu. He did whatever he could within these constraints, but he was in denial about the existence of enemies originating from within Yasumizu. To him, this situation was just a common case of some outsiders died, so what? Or maybe that was what he really wanted to think. That made the situation very bad. But I, being an outsider, couldn't say that. That's true. Like you say, there's something wrong with anyone believing in such superstition. He looked displeased. What was I supposed to do? But I'm curious about what I asked first. Do the legends say that everyone dies the first night, or what? I need to know how to feel about this. Oh, that won't happen. Wolves can only kill one person per night. Really, but why? What does the legend have to say about it? What did Bachan say again? No one can go against the laws of the mountain. Not even the Yomotsu Okami-sama. Yomotsu Okami? Wolves that have returned from the Yomi, apparently. Huh, weird. I felt like I'd heard that term before. Still, wasn't it weird that the laws applied to the wolves too? They were on the Yomibito side, as in opposing the mountain. And I was pretty sure the law of the mountain said that only one person could be killed per day. Lynching one during the day was the limit, and killing more than one per night was against the rules. Both would make you the target of corruption. Didn't make much sense to me, but at least I found out that the wolves too could only kill one person per night. Sorry for bothering you with weird questions. I'll get out of your way. Oh right, by the way, if you need an extra pair of hands, just ask. I won't meddle any further than I have to, but you're letting me stay here, so the least I can do is earn my keep. Yeah, sure. His last reply was half-hearted, but I got a bit of the rules that I was missing. When I came back to the dining hall, I found the students, Chieme and Yoshigatsu-kun. Yasunaga's little brother, Meiko, had left. Ah, look, it's Poopman. I mean, Hassan. Poopman? What? The name still got a chance to spread. That aside, I had to find out what happened at today's feast. Recalling what Mochi told me made this kind of hard. Sorry, but can I borrow Chieme-chan? Oh, wow, I sure am popular these days. Why, you? You just can't take a hint, can you? Haru-chan, let's just help Mom. You say something too? It's probably something complicated. I'll be the one who breaks the plates. Haru-chan, you be the one who holds him back. What's going on? Sorry about the commotion. What did you tell Yasunaga-kun? We talked about today's feast. Things aren't looking good. Yeah, I figured it was something like that. Chikamochi-kun told me that Takumi-san revealed he's the snake.
なんだよ
Yeah,
ね
he did.
他にヘビは
Could there be other snakes?
他
Others no. There's only one snake. The mountain gave 4 kinds of guardians. The snake could ask the mountain whether one of the participants was a wolf or not. The monkey was the only one in which there were 2. They had the power to know who the other monkey was. The crow could determine whether the person who was lynched the previous day was a wolf or not. And the spider could ask God to protect one of the participants. Honestly, if the so-called God really had that power, I would complain that why can't he protect anyone? Or everyone? As far as I knew, anyone who didn't have a guardian was either a powerless human or a wolf. The humans could kill a person during the day, while the wolves could kill a person during the night, so it was a battle for survival. The humans had to do everything to find and kill the wolves. If they couldn't find a single wolf during the feast, the whole event was completely meaningless. The wolves would simply crush the settlement.
殺人の是非を一旦は
If you ignore the fact that it's murder, and the fact that you didn't choose a wolf suspect today is pretty bad, right? It's a day wasted.
そうだね
Yeah,
そのことも
that's what I told Yasukun.
そして
And then there's the fact that the snake outed himself.
うん
Hmm,
ちょっと
It's pretty
嫌な
bad.
状況だね
she understood it well. We couldn't expect the help of the police or getting a forensic investigation. Not to mention we were up against supernatural monsters. As things were, the snake's power was the only way to find out who was a wolf or not. In other words, losing the snake would mean losing your most powerful weapon.
でも
But we should be fine for today. The spider will protect
クモは
Takumi
匠
Ni-chan.
兄ちゃんをも
待って
Hold
バレ
on.
たのか
We also know the spider?
うんやすくん
No, Yasukun suggested that whoever it is keep it a secret so that the wolves don't find out.
それで肝臓じいちゃんが OK
Kanzuchi-chan agreed, and we went with that.
正しそうだね
That seems like the right move.
と思う
I would probably make the risky play and also protect somebody else. But, you know, I make risky plays and lose pretty frequently in various games of risk reward. It does. We probably should have done the same with the snake. They really should have. It was best to secretly gather info without revealing the guardians. Yeah, but you kind of have to establish who the snake is. I don't know. That's tough. He should have kept quiet and used his power to find out as much reasonably possible before revealing himself. Yeah, I guess you could reveal yourself and be like, this person's lying because I am the snake and I know this. I knew it was difficult to figure out right away, but the fact that the snake, the most important role, was the first to be outed was really bad. From my perspective, Takumi-san had been so focused on protecting Yasumizu himself that he made a terrible mistake. He appeared calm, but I wouldn't have been surprised if he'd realized this and was actually pretty shook.
結果どうなると思う
What do you think will happen? Just like she already knew the answer.
雲は言われるがままに
Spider was told to protect Takumi-san.
当然
The wolves obviously heard that.
聞いているんだから
If they try to go for him, the spider will stop them, right?
雲が阻むんだろ
No idea how, though.
だね
Yeah, and with that, they'd lose one day's worth of murders. Chemi seemed to process this as a logic game, too.
僕が狼なら
If I were a wolf, I would ignore Takumi-san and go for someone else.
春明さんもそう
You think so, too? Well, who do you think they'll go for?
それはわからない
I don't know. I have no idea what the wolves are prioritizing. If they prefer the blood of women and children, they'd probably go for the younger people.
怖い
Whoa, scary.
大丈夫
Don't worry. You're not the youngest girl here.
殺す
I'll kill ya.
大丈夫
But
美人狙いだったら
you're still the prettiest. Haha.
許
Haha.
すでも
Hey,
それはそれ
I'll
で
forgive
嫌
you.
だな
Though,
殺される
that
前に
still
何
sounds
さ
pretty
れるかわ
bad.
かんないし
Who knows what they'll do before killing me? I'm sure there were plenty of things they could conceive. Apparently, there was another layer to the worst possible scenario.
趣味以外の方向で
Well,
言
if
え
they're
ば
not killing on preferences, then they'll kill someone whose death would shake the villagers. And that would be someone influential or a powerful player for the humans.
肝臓じいちゃ
Well,
ん
that'd be Kanzo Ji-chan or Yasukun. That seemed likely. Yasunaga-kun was the only one who had done something helpful for the villagers this time. He seemed to be the leader of the high schoolers and had a good head on his shoulders. But his idea required Mishimashi's approval, which made it pretty clear he was also a standout. Honestly, I'd expect him to take more initiative than he had, but the fact that he considered the younger people's opinion showed real leadership skills. In any case, he wasn't someone the humans wanted to lose. Oh yeah.
匠さんが誰を調べるかは
Did you decide who Takumi-san would investigate?
うん清之助
Yeah,
さん
he's investigating Kyonosuke-san.
何そのチョイス
Why that choice?
何って
What do you mean?
本人の
He asked for it, and
あと
we wanted to
人間関係
prioritize those who were the
に不利
least
な人から
popular.
優先的
It would
に
make
調べ
them
て
safer.
安全性を上げようっていう
I don't know. I don't agree with that choice either, honestly. I think for who to investigate, I think you investigate one of the leaders. I don't know, that's suspect too, but like I would say like you investigate like the old man maybe and make sure the old man is doing what's right, because you don't want the old man making decisions on behalf of the wolves if it has to go through him. But then also like you just make him a target. At the very least, they wouldn't be suspected as wolves who were just trying to exploit the situation during the feast. That being the case, shouldn't they have opted to choose a potential... That's what I'm saying! Shouldn't you pick a leader? Well, I didn't really know if Nosato-san had the skills, but from what I could tell, he definitely lacked the influence to lead. If they wanted to secure a reliable leader, they should have went for someone like Kanzo Makishimashi. Yeah, that's what I'm saying, bro. But wait,
もし蛇の対象が
if the snake's target is killed by the wolves, the snake's power is wasted, right?
が無駄にな死んだ人
The
は
dead can be investigated by the crow, after all.
違うよ
Nope.
夜に
Those killed at night are
殺さ
chosen
れ
by
る
the
狼が
wolves,
選ぶ
so
んだから
those have to be
間違いな
humans.
く人間だよカラスは
The crow can only investigate those
昼に
chose and
おか
killed
げで
during the
殺され
feast.
た人の正
Ah,
そうか
yeah, I see.
確かに
Whatever the case, perhaps investigating Kyonosuke-shi wasn't that much of a mistake. Did that mean they were actually doing a decent job? I don't think they're doing a decent job. Well, it'd be pretty bad if Kanzo-shi was the one to go. We had a bad feeling about this. Sorry, I didn't read that part, but... During the feast, everyone had to lock themselves somewhere all alone around every sunset. It was called sheltering. Well, I can understand it, considering the legends, but I still wondered why the students didn't go to school. It was a weekday. When I asked, they just told me, why would we leave when it's so dangerous? The idea that they couldn't leave when the mist was here was so popular, it affected their daily lives. Also, the people in Kamifujiyoshi had to know that Yashimizu was covered in mist, right? Considering the school there probably had a few students to begin with, the non-presence of the three from Yasumizu would normally be a serious problem. I knew it was a settlement for the ostracized, but did they really neglect the place that badly? Looking at it from that angle, it was safe to assume that the local villages, Kamifujiyoshi included, actually concealed the feast of the Yomi Purge. I thought about that and similar things in room 203 of the student dorm. That's the place I was given. Chimi had given me some cup ramen and hot water, chatted for a moment about the neighbors, and then she returned to her room. Weird, she could be so casual about this, considering there was a chance we wouldn't meet again tomorrow. After dinner, I took a bath. The gas boiler was pretty damn old, so learning how to use it took a while. And there were some working electrical outlets, so I could charge my phone. I didn't have a wristwatch, so that was important. By the way, my room didn't have a kitchen. I was pretty sure the other rooms didn't either. From what I could tell, no one here actually cooked or ate at their own homes. They all relied on the dining hall. This settlement had not only a unique culture, but a way of life. As well, I couldn't help but wonder how something like this had began and survived into the modern era. It was an interesting subject to research, but for now, I had to worry about the fact that my life was in danger. I have a tier list for the end of the stream. Alright, word. Anyway, what were my options now? It wasn't part of the feast, but walking around at night was probably dangerous regardless. After all, I had memories of getting killed doing exactly that. We'll probably cut after the night, whatever happens after the night. From a logical standpoint, that was probably just a dream, but it had a quality to it that made it hard to believe it was. I had to be careful until I was certain. Then again, I had a record of surviving by not just making any noise at night. Maybe I should have stayed awake and looked around. Also, Takumi-san said they were going to have to someone keep watch at night, didn't he? Did he plan on doing it himself? Considering the snake's importance, he shouldn't do something so dangerous. Ah, shit. They'd barely just decided about anything in the feast. I wasn't getting enough info either. I feel like I barely knew the basics. I mean, I'd be curious too in this guy's situation, but also, he's kind of not part of this. Talking during the feast meant giving info to the wolves, but if the humans kept too many things hidden, the wolves would end up just knowing way more than them, and that was also dangerous. Still, there was a limit to what I could do in my situation. If I kept being the messenger I was today, I could create a huge imbalance of info myself. Not to mention, I could be deemed suspicious and lose the residents' trust. Shit. What am I supposed to do here? Was it best for me to just stay quiet and wait for the feast to end? That wasn't like me at all. There was a mail slot in the door. I opened it up and looked outside. Everything was still covered in mist, so I couldn't see much. I could only see the handrail and the branches going into the hallway. But maybe I could see some intruder if I kept staring. Not likely. After all, this was the room at the end of the second floor. Haruchan and Chiemi's rooms were closer to the stairs, so I couldn't see anyone going to attack them. The only time I could see the monsters come would be when it was coming for me. Maybe keeping watch like this was the most important thing if I wanted to stay alive, but I found it hard to put my own life on the priority list. For some reason, I felt like if I died, I would just go back to the starting point. Yeah, better not think that. Anyways, sorry, I bashed my microphone. Anyways, I had to stay awake. I still had many things to worry about and think about. Oh, it's nighttime. Oh, no, it's just Wednesday. What? As I woke up and tried to move, my head rubbed against something tough and then smacked into the doorknob. I writhed in pain. What was happening? Did I fall asleep against the door? Was I more tired than I thought? I was glad I didn't die and all, but this was a failure in my eyes. Sleeping in an unnatural position made my whole body hurt. I wobbled over to my fully charged phone. It was 6 o'clock. That was early for me. I'd have loved to just go back to sleep, but I was too curious about the feast. After washing my face with hot water and putting on my shoes, I decided to take a peek through the mail slot. Okay. Outside, I saw Chiemi standing there with a knife in her hand. I reflexively stepped back, tripped, and fell on my ass. What the hell was that? Was there a woman standing before my room with a weapon? I only caught a glimpse, but it was enough to conclude that I was dealing with a scene straight out of a horror movie. What could have prompted this? Did she suspect I was the wolf? Was she a wolf herself? She knocked on the door, making me squeal a bit. Haruaki-san, are you awake? Would she kill me if I replied? Wake up, wake up. I need a hand checking on everyone. Oh god. By the way, I'm armed, but it's just for self-defense. Oh my god. Say that sooner, damn it. Ah, so you are awake. Don't worry. I put the weapon away. I hesitantly peeked through the mail slot and saw her hopping around, showing me her empty hands. After meeting up with Chiemi, we went around the dorm and woke up the students. All of them were alright. While they got ready, we went to the Nosato mansion just because it was close. Yasumizu was still misty and unpleasantly silent. I walked carefully, just like yesterday morning. I couldn't write off the possibility that the werewolf would jump out of the mist and tear me apart. It'd be over for me. I was walking ahead, dragging Chiemi by the hand, careful about what I was going. If something happened and I got eaten or something, Chiemi could either fight back or run away. Oh, he's fine. There's someone there? Oh, Nosato-san. It's us. Where? Oh, there. We peered through the mist and a gloomy frown appeared. Hey, good morning. Looks like the mansion was safe. Of course, it's old but well protected. Not even monsters could make it in, surely. I see. Then, can we all take shelter inside? Why should I let you? This is Yasumizu's problem, not mine. I see. Good point. Then, we'll just get moving and solve the problem, I guess. What? It's dangerous. We need to stay in groups. Really, I was beginning to think this guy was being described as all bark and no bite. Though prideful and vain, he wasn't as smart as he claimed to be, as shown by his inability to take charge of the feast. Also, his fussy attitude was probably just him making up for his fear. It was entirely possible he was just putting on an air, and that the mystery of Yasumizu, or rather Fujiyoshi, was actually scaring him. Excuse me. Anyway, we went downhill and met up with the students.
気味なもんだね。
Even a familiar road can be scary.
だね。
Yeah, mists are super weird.
これなら脱いでも怒られない
Huh, I can get naked and no one will get mad. I don't know where this kid's head's
やめ
at.
ろバカ者
Stop that fool. Makishimo's acting weird. Mochi was definitely expecting a retort from her. She didn't say anything, and her face was so pale you could tell through the mist. Hanging her head, she was lightly shaking. Everyone else could see it too, but no one chose to address it. Questions would quickly become suspicions, after all. Perhaps she was a wolf and did something horrific last night. So we all thought similar things. She suddenly collapsed to the ground.
大丈夫か？
Are you alright?
触らない
Don't touch me! Her hoarse scream shocked everyone.
はるちゃん。
Haru-chan.
兄ちゃん違う
I just...
ごめん
Sorry, but right now Yeah, I can understand if you're on edge.
神経質。
Be careful about where you walk.
足元に気をつけて。
When we slowed down, Haru-chan, not touching anyone's hands, was at the rear of the group. As we walked, trees and stones drifted in and out of visibility through the surrounding mist. Our vision was so limited it felt like a world around us was changing with every step we took. A tunnel of trees, a path on a paddy field, a stone platform, a concrete stairway. We walked between realms every passing second. I was still wondering about Haru-chan. What was on her mind? Was she afraid or wary? After descending for a bit, we arrived at the plaza.
みんな無事に
I see all of you are alright. We met two more people in front of the dining hall.
ご老人方は
Are the elders sleeping in?
ばあちゃんは身支度中
Ba-chan is still getting
体
dressed.
調が良くね
She's not feeling too great right now.
これから来てね
Let's check on those who aren't here yet. Come with me, Kyo.
なぜ君が私
Why are you ordering me?
男手がいるかも
Because
し
we
れない
might need some manpower. Fusaishi,
悪いが
you
あんたを
come too.
頼むぞ
this was the first time he'd ordered me to do something, but it wasn't a situation where I could be happy about him relying on me.
ええ。
Of
もちろん。
course, of course. Probably had a bad feeling. Namely, that he wouldn't be able to rely on a certain someone ever again. Oh, Sag. Old man's gonna be dead.
あのね安永
Yasunaga, can you help them?
何？母さん。
With what, Mom?
義継を探してほしい
Finding Yoshitsu.
離れにいないようだから
Yoshitsugu. He's missing. Oh. Oh, man. The three of us guys checked the houses. Yasunaga-kun, Chiemi, and Mochi walked around the settlement. We'd agreed to split up and start searching. The misty village was silent. I couldn't hear anyone chatting. I'd seen these buildings from the outside, but it was my first time actually walking in. The shabby buildings built using blackened planks were more or less buried in vegetation. Some were on the verge of collapse. The way their frames jutted from the mist reminded me of the carcasses of giant beasts. I walked a line between the grass, a footpath, surely. I often heard something small jump in the grass. Probably just some bugs or frogs, but they still made me flinch.
リカコさんはここに住んでいるのか
Rikaku-san lives here, right?
ああ
Yeah,
そこんち
in that house.
なんだ
Shit.
彼女がこんな場所
Why
に
must she
住まな
live in a
かった
place like this?
お前が知らねえんだったら
If
俺
you
らの
don't
知る
know,
わけねえ
there's
だろ
no way we would.
見ぬるま
I
あたり
guess
の
it's
指図
Miguruma's
じゃねえの
orders.
か私が知る限りでは
To my knowledge, she moved to Yasumizu on her own accord, and there's no need for her to be here in the first place. Maybe she knew the mist was coming to cast a spell or something to keep it away. That sure didn't work, though.
ムロ匠
Takumi Muro, I don't mind you being disrespectful to me, but you should choose your words when talking about her. She's a legitimate Kamifujiyoshi family head.
知るか
Like I care. This is Yasumizu. She said it herself, didn't she? In the feast. We're all served on the same platter.
リカコさん
Rikaku-san.
リカコさん
Rikaku-san, are you alright?
無事ですか
Apparently Takumi-san did not like the Uematsu family, or the four head families in general. Now that I thought about it, she wasn't as disliked as Kyonosuke. The villagers in general weren't fond of Rikaku. Seemed like a pretty obvious outcome, though. Yasumizu was the settlement for the ostracized, and it was impossible for a member of one of the head families who openly spurned them to form a good relationship with the locals. Rikaku-san emerged before too long. She was wearing her usual strange getup, and she didn't seem any different from how she looked
メ
yesterday.
イコを連れて行きませんか
I need to check on Meiko. Moved to the next house. Felt like Rikako-san was urging me, so I woke the girl up.
レイコちゃん
Hey,
朝だよ。
Reiko-chan, it's morning. Couldn't imagine Rikako-san raising her voice, while the other two probably didn't feel like they had to get involved. After a few calls, she finally came out, still half asleep.
ね
Meh.
えメイコ
Ah, Meiko, I'm glad you're alright.
キヨ
Kyo,
二人を食堂
take them to the dining hall.
リカコさんこちら
Come with me, Rikako-san.
足元
Watch your
気をつけ
step.
て
はい
Okay.
あの
She was apparently trying to get my attention, so I turned around and said, yeah?
ごめんなさい
I'm sorry. Her sudden apology left me completely confused. Then she departed alongside the other two.
いいんですか清之助さん
Are you sure we should go on without Kyonosuke?
どうせ役に
He'd
立た
be
ねえ
useless anyways.
上松
I only
の
brought him
暴
along
走
in case it was the
が伝わってた
Uematsu's mock priestess
運ば
that
せよう
died.
と思うも
But
う誰がやられた
now
か
I know
分
who
かっ
got
たか
killed.
まだ狼じじい
It could still be the old wolf guy, right?
適当言うな
Oh my god, shut up. If old man Konzo was around, he'd have woken up earlier than anyone and searched the length of the whole city 3 times over by now. Sorry.
すまね
His house is over
え
here.
僕のがおやっさんの家だ
See, I said I would have protected the old man. I followed him in silence. I couldn't think of anything else to say. The fact that the door was unlocked made it clear that something wasn't right. The moment I opened it, my nostrils were assaulted by a smell I'd experienced just yesterday. The reek of a fresh corpse. Damn it, damn it, damn it, damn it. Like Takumi-san, who was looking away and cursing, I did my best to burn the scene I witnessed into memory. I felt like to avert my eyes would be very disrespectful, and I chided myself for wanting to look away. The body was much more intact than Mamiya-san and Hashimoto-san's. That made it much easier to become painfully aware of the fact that this was a human, an intelligent life form who was with us just yesterday like it was no big deal. There was one problem, though. Part of the body that used to be the head was completely destroyed. There was no part the head left untouched. It was that thorough. It was obvious the result of her relentless, heavy, blunt attacks. Ugh. Everything above the neck was just a strange flat mess of shattered skull fragments and white and red organic matter. Compared to it, everything else was largely unharmed. The old-looking cloth and the unexpected robust chest for someone his age were all the proof needed to know that it was the body of Kanzo Makishima Shi.
片付けるんですか
We'll clean it up?
当たり前だ
Yep. What else?
少しだけ
Please wait a
時間をくだ
bit.
さい
どうする気だ
What are you gonna do?
できる限りのことを
Find out as
調べ
much
ま
as
す
I can. Since we had no idea when we could get out of here. Practicing at the scene of a crime for an official investigation meant we had to leave this body to rot here, and we couldn't do that. And considering the horrible state it was in, the villagers probably wanted to take care of their own way as soon as possible. Thus, I did my duty as someone without such obligations. This corpse was completely unlike the ones from yesterday. While those two were destroyed completely, the damage on this one was focused on the head. The weapon clearly wasn't sharp. They used something blunt. The skin on his face was torn, but not sliced apart, and the skull was shattered. This was caused by repeated blunt attacks on the head. It wasn't my job to picture whether there was some profound grudge in this. The only certain thing here was the wolves killed him using something blunt, not claws or fangs. And it was obviously done with dedicated intent, not accidentally. At the very least, the entity that made this corpse wasn't the same as the one that made the ones from yesterday. It made sense if you separated them and assumed that yesterday's was the corruption, and today's was the wolves. But that thing I'd seen walking around at night had the appearance of a wolf, or rather, a werewolf. The werewolves were the ones bringing the corruption. The tale all this was based on would make even less sense. If the corruption was a great Lord Shinai's punishment, it'd be weird for it to be delivered by the wolves. Holding back my nausea, I looked back at the corpse, then I rolled back my sleeves and reached for the destroyed head.
何を
Whoa, what are you doing?
ないと思いますが
I'm pretty sure I'm wrong, but
一応調べ
I'll
ます
still have a look. Decapitation meant body doubles. Mystery writing 101. Wait, what? If someone brought in and killed a person with a similar build to Kanzo Shi and left him here, his death... Oh.
肝臓さん下顎
Did
に
Kanzo-san have a silver capped tooth on his lower jaw?
いやねえよ
No, he didn't. His voice was strangely forced. I looked at him and realized he was kind of pale. Might have overdone it, still. We can't be soft in this situation.
おやっさんは
He was proud that he didn't need any crowns or anything, despite being over 60. Why? Did you find one?
あったのか。
いえ、誘導を避ける
No,
た
I
めの
only
手段
asked
で
to
す
prevent any misdirection. Oh my god. It's a healthy set of teeth.
なんだ
Oh
よ。
my god, what the hell? The lower jaw was completely intact, the upper jaw completely destroyed. Despite that, I saw a hint of the old man in the eyebrows and the dark hair with streaks of gray in them. It was pretty clear this was the one and only Kanzo Makishimashi, so it was probably pointless to keep thinking about why he was injured. My hands were all messy. I'd have to wash them later. The corpse aside, Kanzoshi was lying on a thin bedding and there was no sign of a struggle. He was either instantly killed by the first attack or knocked out, laid here, and then killed. Still, it wasn't a corpse that was easy to make. The situation here was peculiar. One point I find curious was the fact that Kanzoshi surely obeyed the shelter law and locked himself in. However, the lock on the door was still perfectly intact. So, logically speaking, Kanzoshi had opened the door to let the culprit in. There was no sign of resistance, and it was probably done by somebody he felt safe with. However, if this was a normal killing by the standards of the Feast of the Yomi Purge, then this was definitely made possible by something unnatural. Back to the situation at hand. The futon and everything around it were bloody, obviously, but there was another strange thing about the crime scene. The dampness. Some spots were really wet, and clearly not because of the mist. It was like the murder purposely spread some water here. Were they trying to wash away the blood splatter on them? Well, there was no point in doing that in front of the body. The footprints were faded. Were they trying to cover their tracks? They were still pretty visible, though. It was more likely they put bloody footprints on a futon and tatami that was already wet. The shape of the prints made it like they weren't made by Western shoes, Japanese clogs, or wild beasts. They were just long ovals reminiscent of those made by Zori sandals. There weren't many of them, though. Most of the blood was absorbed by the futon. But from what I had, I could tell there was only one type of footprint. The mother?
何か分かっ
Did
た
you find out anything?
大したことは
Nothing special.
だろうな。
え
You don't specialize in this, do
残念
you?
ながら
Sadly, no. All I knew that the culprit was a very dangerous human. As I washed my hands, Takumi-san removed the sliding door and put Kanzo-san's remains in it. He covered the destroyed face with a nearby hand tile and prepared to carry it.
後ろ頼む。
You take the other side.
了解です
Got it. We lifted up, and yeah, this was definitely a job for two people. We went out into the mist.
サラナガに捨てるんですか
Are we throwing him into the Saranaga?
ばあちゃんはそうしろって。
That's what Bachan would want.
そうしなければ
Because
汚れる
he'll be corrupted if we don't.
あ、
Oh. A voice devoid of life. I couldn't call out to him. Pushing him any further was dangerous. I could tell by the air about him.
俺のせいだ。
My fault.
どうしてです
Why do you say that?
俺が
Because I messed up at the
宴でヘ
feast.
マやったから。
Yeah, that was entirely possible. I would have said that, but it felt wrong in the moment.
僕にはよくわか
I
りません
don't
が
know much, but I think you were trying to do your
匠さん
best.
がご
だからって。
But what's the point if I mess up like this?
じゃあ
Then you need to make up for it.
ですね
I think you'll just have to be the one to lead Yasumizu in his
あ
stead
なた
now.
が休みず
俺には
I can't.
無理だ。
Well, I couldn't either. I'm just an outsider, but I had no other way to console him. Feeling powerless, we approached the dining hall. We'll pass by here and go straight for the graveyard. Tai had come out. She's in the midst of prayer. Kaori was standing next to her. She looked completely out of it. Rikako was covering Meiko's eyes and was looking straight at me. Haru-chan, Kanzo-san's actual granddaughter, was watching her grandfather's corpse with an intense expression. Probably wasn't good to make any assumptions here, but I just couldn't help it. I felt like her expression was not full of unbearable sorrow, but of anger, hatred, and disgust. I'd never seen them have a nice chat, so I wouldn't be surprised if they didn't see eye to eye. But still, I'd have liked it if she made a different expression, if only for this moment. I can only think that it was because I was an outsider who didn't know shit. It wasn't good to make assumptions. Shit. Why was I in this position? Just how much could I even learn in my position? But as it turned out, I was still underestimating the situation.
よし君がと どこにもいな
We
い
can't find Yoshi-kun anywhere. Oh, he might have died too. We met Chieme on the way to the graveyard. She and the two high school guys were still searching, but the mist made it extremely difficult. We told her we'd join once we buried Kanzo-san and picked up our pace. The graveyard wasn't that far. Yasumizu wasn't very big, but it only felt like cause of the mists or the load. I'd completely forgotten about him. He was alright too, huh? I had no idea why, but he was looking at us, clapping and laughing. That meant that Yoshitsugu Oribe-kun was the only one we hadn't seen yet. I was told there'd be only one. The wolves were only supposed to kill one person per night. Not saying a word, I hurried to finish the job. That led us to finding him early. Oh, shit. Okay, yeah, so the old man was murdered by someone else. Yoshitsugu-kun was on the shortest path to the cliff, the grass in the graveyard. Though Takumi-san had only noticed him by chance. That was how deep in the grass he was. How many pieces of him there were. It reeked of death too, but it was mixed with the smell of trampled grass and a strange beastly odor. Maybe not all the blood around here was his. This is super disturbing. Unlike Kanzo-san, he left clear proof that a tough battle and intense pain. Yoshi, you had guts. Takumi-san was shaking. He picked up a soccer ball-sized object. Oh. Half eaten and basically a shadow of what it was, it clenched its teeth even in death.
いいですか
Can I? Takumi-san gave it, his head, to me, and I put my finger in its mouth. Weird. I was curious what it was stuck in there, and I found a clump of beastly fur. He literally fought tooth and nail, resisting until the very end. Wow. Resisting what? Obviously the being that brought the corruption. Didn't take long for news of his death to spread across the village. I'd heard the pain of losing one's child was beyond any description. Even so, Kaori Oribe-san broke down so bad it felt abnormal. The mild-mannered woman became a mad beast. We had to band up to keep her from running to where we found Yoshitsugu-kun's corpse. We'd gathered it up and thrown it in the Saranaga after all. Takumi-san kept a tuft of the boy's bleached hair, which he gave to Kaori-san. She instantly put it in her mouth. Through her wailing and choking, she did her best to chew and swallow it. It was a wrenching, gloomy, gut and miserable sight, sorry. Though I might have been an act born of ultimate motherly love. Whatever the case, no matter the shape, it was too late to try and bring her child back to herself. Not to mention the absurd and pointless. This is how it looked in my eyes. Let's begin the feast. Can I save here? I'm gonna save here before the feast. Bludgeon from bad to worse. Let me just see where this starts. It didn't take long for his death. Yeah, perfect. So we'll pick up from here next time. Okay. So I saved. I'm going to go back to the title. Let me get the music back. Koyo, I know you said you had a tier list you wanted me to do. It's kind of a small stream right now. I'll just do it if you want. You don't have to redeem it with points. Take about 15-20 minutes on that and then call it. Oh, I'm not on the chatting. Or you can save it for next time, whatever you want to do. Okay. Oh, Raging Loop characters. Oh, perfect, perfect. Oh, okay, I'm in there. This one will actually be pretty quick, because I already kind of have my opinion on a lot of them. Okay, so let's do it this way. Let's go back to here. You know, I'm actually going to make just a tier maker tab that I just keep on this thing. Okay, let's do the properties. Gotta crop it. Like, it'll have the crop filter already on it and stuff. Because if I always go to this website, it should just be a really easy. So it was like 450, no, 400, 350. Like 350, 250, 350. Is there any stipulation to this, or is it just literally where I tier them? Next time I'll make it a fighting game based one, but you can just rank by the likes if you want. All right, cool. All right, so let's see, what's the best way to do this? So so I'm gonna go just really quickly through some of these that are very obvious. So Cheme is S tier. I think very clearly. I very much like Cheme. I think she's gonna show up a lot. She's obviously a main part of the story. She's very strong of a character. She's fun. I like Cheme a lot. Mochi. So Mochi's cool. I think I like this character. I want to see more stuff from Mochi. Like, he's a cute character. He's got quirks, which I kind of like. I think that's neat. Hasn't done anything yet. Generally, though, I kind of dislike like cringe child humor, like how he calls you poop man and stuff. But I want to see where that develops, because if they can spin that the right way, and maybe he's like, maybe he like knows more later. So I think he's high potential. Haru, I'm not a fan of very much. I don't like Haru yet, partly because I have struggled to do a voice with her. That's too similar to Chime's, but like okay, so also I guess while we're here I can kind of talk about where I think we're at. Like I'll make a tier list, and then I'll kind of talk about where I think everybody's at in the story. Protag, he's fine. I like that he's getting all this forensic stuff done. I'm curious how he's going to, I think he's B tier. I'm curious how he's going to interact with the story. Like, obviously he's doing a whole bunch of stuff in the story now, and that's interesting. Like, I want to see how he actually exerts his influence. Reporter lady died very early, but I have her on D tier anyways. I mean, it's very possible that there's just no way to save these characters. I don't know what the branching path is going to look like, where like you can go earlier on and like maybe save some of these people. But as it stands, her and him had basically zero characterization, and so I'm just kind of putting them in F tier. Old man just died. Rest in peace. I do think there is a way to save Old Man. I think there's going to be more to Old Man, and I really, really like Old Man. I think he's A tier. He's like high B tier. Old Man is high B tier because he's a no-nonsense kind of guy. Actually, he's A tier. He's a low A tier. He gets shit done, right? And I think, he obviously was the first. He needed to be killed. He got killed, though, outside of the... He got killed outside of the hunt or the feast. So I want to talk about him a little bit more. I wonder why he's so smart with this stuff. Oh yeah, the protag, right? Like that, there's a lot to be said about that too. The mother, the tea house mother, she's really soft-spoken. She hasn't really done anything yet, so I have to tier her pretty low. I have some ideas about her though as well. This son of a bitch is low tier. I can't stand this guy. He's gonna need a redeeming article or a redeeming arc to get any kind of respect from me, because he is low tier. I dislike this guy so much. I think the mother is cute, but that might be me. Yeah, this is not a cuteness tier list. She's very like, so I want to talk about her a little bit. She might be B tier, but there's something to that. Now this guy, like, F tier, dude. The little girl, can I put her in creepy tier? She's also like C tier in that she hasn't really done much yet. I think she's the bad omen that got the feast started though, so I can talk about that. Our priestess, kind of a fan, B tier. I think the priestess there's going to be more to her. She said I'm sorry to the pro tag at the end of the last one, so that's interesting. I want to talk about that too. Grandma and Grandpa are like the ice climbers of this game. They're all kind of together. They're always kind of together. I think we're going to see a lot. I can't wait to see the next feast. That's why I want to start the next one with the next feast, because I think a lot of shit's going to go down at the next feast. Mura is also in my S tier. I support grandmas in video games. True. Hi, Arg. Mura, I really like. I think he's effectively the pro tag of the village outside of Chieme, and he made a power move in the first feast. He outed himself as the snake, so big power move for him. Uribe is A tier. He is very strong in the feast. He is going to probably be the next target of the wolves. So, oh, I know what I can do after this. I'm gonna make 2 tier lists actually. I'm gonna do this one. This is just how much I like the characters, and then I'm gonna do one that is a little different. He died. He was F tier anyways, but he's better than this guy, and he's better than the journalist and the clerk. Uribe is like, yeah, he's like where you would put like Hyde or Narukami. I actually thought he was the main character when I first booted this game up. Old Man Who Cried Wolf, he's like on Hulk Hagar tier. He's on like Grappler tier. He's super weird. He's gonna be more important than the story lets on. But like, as far as I like him, D tier. Grandma just dropped down a tier because I felt like it. And then the sheep is obviously S tier, because come on. If you know me, you know I love sheep. Okay, so just to recap, sheep, Muro, and Chieme are my favorite characters easily. I like when they're on screen. Yeah, S for sheep tier. A tier, Uribe, Mochi, and God, I can't remember his name. Kanzo, I think is his name. Generally, like as I go down the list, I'm gonna forget their names more and more. These are my A tiers. I'm pretty confident in that. B tier, Haruaki, Tai. Okay, I remember her name over her name, so she's higher. And Rikuo or something like that. This is the line where I start to, you know what? She's in B tier too. I actually kind of like her more than the rest of, like looking at her in comparison with this tier versus comparison with this tier, I think makes a lot more sense. C tier, the girl, just not enough information. Haru, don't like her too much. Old Man Who Cried Wolf, just stupid joke character. And then these are the characters I actively dislike. I mean, mean, annoying, and these two didn't do anything otherwise. This guy's the worst. He's actually like down here if I had to, if I made another tier and like wanted to really do it. And then this guy, kind of annoying. I do feel like there is a path in the game where he redeems himself, but I'm not here to see it. Okay, new tier list. Wolf, Guardian, Civilian, NA. Now, who has the most drip? Who's dripping the most? He is. Honestly, I like this look. He's got drip. Chieme's got drip. And then you've got like Mochi has a very unique sense of fashion, which I very much appreciate. The priestess is dripping, and everyone else is like, oh, sorry, Haru has the most. Haru is like, her fashion sense is S+. And then like everyone else is literally wearing bags. So it kind of goes off from there. Okay, so. Okay. Clear row. Okay. So here is who I think are the various types of individuals in the city. And I'm going to put for NA, So we don't know if she can be something. She is also an outsider. Or I guess let me add outsider. Well, yeah, outsiders can't be the wolves, right? So we can do NA and we can do outsider. Chame has the best drip. Yeah, it's pretty good. Outsider, and then this is NA because they're system mechanics, which would be like these two. Okay, outsiders are these. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. 12 people. So there are 5 guardians. 5 guardians, 2 wolves. And then 5 civilians among the people who are there. Okay, so we knew he was a civilian because he died. We also know he's a civilian. Or no, we don't know he's a civilian because he died. But I suspect he is. Because, you know, I actually think he might be a guardian. But he was definitely a civilian because he died. I'd say Haru and Mochi are the monkey guardians. Mochi makes some sense. Mochi lays on like he knows more than what's up. We also know that I already forgot his name. Takumi is a guardian because, I mean, we assume he is because he outed himself as the snake. I'm going to take that at face value for now. I think saying that Mochi's a guardian makes some sense because he definitely lets on more than he thinks. Haru, though, Haru seems... I think Haru is maybe a guardian, but I definitely don't think she's a wolf. I actually think she killed the old man. The way she's looking at the old man, and like how she was traumatized the morning after the first feast, I think she may have killed the old man. And I think the old man was a civilian as well. So we've got the spider. We've got the spider, the monkeys, and the crow. I think she did it too, but that does seem too obvious. Yeah, maybe. So these are the folks. She said I'm sorry as well too to the protag like multiple times. Why would she say I'm sorry? Not a whole lot to be deciphered from here, but stuff that I'm thinking about right now. I do think he is in fact the snake. And I do think he looked this guy up, which I think that was a waste of a power. I think he looked this guy up and it was a waste of power. And I think they're going to find out that this guy is a civilian, which won't surprise me. They sent the wolf at... The wolf went after this guy, which doesn't tell me a whole lot. You know what? These two could be the monkeys. Honestly. I don't know. This guy's going to be something important. I wouldn't be surprised if Chieme was... I think Jerkface is the crow. You know what? That would make some sense where, like, it's going to go, oh, yeah, I checked him out last night. I checked him out last night, and he's safe. Of course I'm safe, you idiot. I'm the crow, and the person we hanged is... Ooh, who are they going to hang? She might volunteer herself for hanging if she's... Well, no, you don't volunteer yourself for hanging because she probably will want to die, though. Like, they might pick her as, like, this is the most merciful killing we can do because it's still early in the night. There's a lot going on. There's a lot going on. You kill this guy. So the person who killed this guy... The person who killed this guy wants the wolves to win. But oh yeah, the mother would volunteer too because Her son just died. Killing off this guy means being a civilian. Means being a civilian who's like in it with the wolves. Because the wolves didn't kill him. The wolves killed the kid. So it doesn't make sense to have a civilian who wants the wolves to win. Unless you are her. Unless you're her. Maybe she wants the wolves to win. She came from the higher city. And maybe she still buys into a lot of the higher cities things. And maybe she really cares for this girl. Right? Maybe she like really cares for this girl. She came down from the higher city. And she sees what a shit show it is down here that these two old fucks are running. And so she wants to like put an end to it as soon as possible. So she's probably a civilian. But is working for the wolves. I wouldn't be surprised if Aribe was a wolf. I wouldn't be surprised if Sheme was a wolf. I don't think Kaori is a wolf. I don't know. There's a lot going on here. The run is early. The son could have also been a guardian, but we wouldn't have known. Right, he could have been... Well, if he was one of the monkeys, someone will call that out. If he was the spider, if he's the spider, they're fucked. If he's the spider and they just like RNG'd, the wolves just RNG'd into the spider, the townsfolk are screwed. But yeah, if he's the crow or one of the monkeys, we might actually end up getting that revealed. So the feast is going to be interesting. All right. That's it for me, though. Thank you for hanging out. Smaller stream today, but it was certainly fun. We've got... Tomorrow, I'm either going to play Uni or do a Halo collab with Magic. Start playing Halo. Yeah, it's go next if he's the spider. But yeah, it was super fun. Tomorrow is gonna probably be Halo with Magic. I want to play that. I'm just trying to get more variety games in. And then Tuesday, I'll probably do a fighting game. The next fighting game I want to do is Uni, so I'll probably play some Uni. And then Wednesday, I'll probably come back to Raging Loop. So if you're here for Raging Loop, Wednesday, look out for that. And then if you're just here for the next one, it'll probably be Monday. Looking like Monday, Wednesday, Saturday, Sunday. Like I try to do as many days as possible. But, you know, just follow me on Twitter if you don't already for Go Live updates. This will go up on YouTube. I already have the thumbnail in mind for this one. This will go up on YouTube tomorrow for some more Raging Loop recap. But that's it. Y'all have a good night, and I'll see you next time.